There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down, and I came here for one reason: to attack and keep coming.
I did it for the Rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, or you would be born alive.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what you gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! Fire! I won't ride in nothing but limousines, and I won't make love to nothing but the best looking women in the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime. Woo!
Sweet. My belly's just a little big, my hand is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
Beat me if you can survive, if I let you.
Orderly!
Woo! It is Rolex time.
Quote the Raven.
You just made the list!
Who's you beat, brother?
Can you dig that? Sucker!
I am the game!
The whole
Show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
you son of a bitch! Brock Lesnar! Damn!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Oh, you didn't know?
I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace.
Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat out, straight up, lying, crying bitch.
If I do not defeat Chris Jericho at Full Gear, I will never challenge for the AEW World Championship again. Chris Jericho, that is a very big if. It's not an encumbrance. It's not an albatross that is going to sit on your chest and weigh you down. It is going to vanish. You've taken to calling my lot entitled millennials. You've called me an entitled millennial bitch. I neglected to read in your best-selling book, A Lion's Tale, which you could get on Amazon for $3 or at any flea market. I neglected to read about the upbringing you had that was so hard. You talked about my silver spoon. Gosh, it must have been so difficult being the upper-class son of a famous hockey player. It is almost like we shared the exact same silver spoon, you stupid dick. You dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you. And you've surrounded yourself with impressionable youth. This isn't about my dad. This isn't about the dead, it's about the living. It's about my mother. It's about my sister. It's about my wife. It's about the 14 years it took me to go from undesirable to un-goddamn deniable.
All right. We will get into that great promo that we just played real quick right after I do the introductions. How is everybody doing? How the hell are you? It's Wednesday night. It is Dirt Sheet Dudes, that's right. We were on just Friday night, but we're back again, goddammit. What the hell is going on, everybody? I am David Richardson. My good friends call me Boxman. So that means all y'all are my good friends. And alongside me, the man who did not know what he was getting into when he agreed to do this one show, Anthony. What is up, sir?
What's going on, bro? Folks, chat room. God damn.
ready to talk some wrestling with y'all tonight.
There we go. And, of course, the other man hanging with us once again. Not sure if he knows what he got into. But anyway, it is the smarkiest of all, Mark Wahlberg. What is up, man?
Fellas, the returning champion has returned. My friends call me Bruiser Jody.
Say Bruiser Jody or Bruiser Chody?
Chode.
Yeah, it's a
very high-class establishment around here.
Oh, Chody. Dude, Chody. Anyway, I think we had enough of that. Man, do we have a ton.
Boxes throwing out his government name. Smart as a chode. I'm me. Good God.
Well,
you don't know what you signed up for when you downloaded this shit.
I mean, I go by my name on fucking Facebook, so it's not hard to find me. So that's because every time I try to go by something else, they turn it into a page. They're like, no, you're a page, you're a character. I'm like, no, I'm not a fucking character, stupid. But, Facebook doesn't give a shit what you do. Anyway, let's go ahead and get these plugs out of the way, and then we will get to the promo that we just played, and then we'll talk the rest of AEW. But as usual, y'all got to make sure you check out Wrestling Overdose, Wrestling OD, Jesus Christ. And also check out Shaheen's art over there at nuclearheatshop.com. That would be Nuclear Heat Graphics. And don't forget to check out Wrestling's High Marks. And hey, don't forget to check them out this Sunday. I will actually be joining the High Marks over there Sunday. So do not forget to check that shit out. So I'll be there Sunday. And of course, a shout out to Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades, the one, the only, the original Inhuman Experience. Get them. Just go ahead and look for them on Apple Podcasts. You'll find them right there. And of course, check out Eric, Doug, and Doug's brother Daniel. They're on Unscripted Wrestling. And that you can find on the Philly Sports Passion feed. You can find that on all the major podcast platforms. Don't forget, shout out to Stephen Milan. You can check him out on letterbox.com/Stephen Milan. And Jesus Christ, this guy is the madman of movie reviews. Definitely check him out. And don't forget to check out the Mark Report Tuesday, 6:30 a.m. on YouTube. And you guys know where you can find us. You guys definitely know. We're Dirt Street Dudes everywhere. At Twitter, you can find us on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts. Leave us a review on Apple. Follow us on Spreaker. And, Anthony, finish it up, buddy.
Also, leave a review. 5-star review. Apple Podcasts. Wherever you can leave a review. Helps us in the charts. Anyway, last plug. Jesus. Jason Clark, Wrestling's Bottom Line Podcast. Check it out. Available on Google, Stitcher, wherever fine podcasts can be heard.
There you go. All right. I think we're good. We're done.
Yes, we're good. We got everybody. We covered everybody.
All right. So anyway, we will do that again at the end of the fucking show, I'm sure. But anyway, that promo by Cody. Let's just start with this promo by Cody. I guess we'll jump right into AEW. No reason not to. Jesus Christ, this promo by Cody. I don't think I've ever heard this kind of fire in Cody. You guys?
No, can't say that I have.
No. Never have. Never have heard this. It was great. He was damn near crying at the end of the fucking promo, Anthony.
But so let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that fantastic promo. I mean, this is one of those promos where it sucked me in emotionally. I'll be honest. I'm still not really. I'm not overly excited about a Jericho Cody Rhodes match in 2019. But this promo was fucking fantastic. Do you think this was his hard times? Do you think this is the type of promo that will stand the test of time? That people will be talking about 10 years from now?
It should. Honestly, a promo like that, in my opinion, 100% should. That should be something that definitely sits with him, because that was a great promo, dude. He let a lot out in that fucking promo, and I mean, you could see the passion, you could see the fire, you could see everything just coming out of Cody in that promo, and I loved it. I mean, he sat there, he even called Jericho a stupid dick.
Unedited. Nice. So TNT clearly give zero fucks about that 7-second delay.
Yeah.
You dick!
Dude.
We got a dick. We got a goddamn. But I guess they draw the line at Jesus Christ because we didn't get one of them.
All we were missing was
you was crying like a pussy.
That's all we were missing, Anthony. And then
why is your dick out?
If we had got that, it would have just wrapped up everything.
Yeah. That would have summed up the show. Yeah. Open up with that, coming out the intro. Hey, good night, folks, because we ain't topping anything after that little soundbite.
Like Eddie Murphy, just come out, pussy, shit, fuck, bye-bye, yeah, take it easy, y'all. That's it. Okay.
No, man, but jokes aside, man, like, he dug deep. And I felt like he went to a place where he just drew from a lot of real emotion, especially when he dropped the line about being unwanted, undesired, been doing this for 14 years, nobody wanted me. Nobody ever thought I could make it to this level. So he definitely drew from some real emotion there. Like you heard his voice cracking at one point. Mm-hmm. So I can't do anything but praise that promo. Probably in the 5 weeks. What week are we on with AEW? This week 5, week 6?
I would say 6. I'm not sure. When did it start? The first week of October, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, October 2nd. So this week 6, right?
Week 6. Yeah, this would be week 6. No,
I would say, I would say hands down, this is the best piece of business that they produced. I mean, AEW on the whole, there's that phrase again. It's been consistently pretty solid, but to me is my MVP segment in the 6 weeks that they've been on.
Got to disagree with you. The Jericho video we're going to get into later was the best piece of fucking production I've ever seen come out of any wrestling company ever.
Correct.
This was the best, the funniest. Dude, Soul Train Jones, a.k.a. Virgil, was in this video. Okay, do I need to say any more?
All right, let me reword that. Cody gave the best promo. Best promo in the 6 weeks that AEW's been on. But that, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up that Jericho promo. I'm sorry, that Jericho vignette, because AEW needs more of those. That, to me, was sports entertainment done right. Oh, that was golden. It's Soul Train Jones, Jake Hager just deadpanning the whole time.
That was beautiful.
I mean, look, that probably was Jack Swagger's best acting since he's been in the wrestling business. Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No, but I mean, obviously, let's just talk about the video real quick. Obviously, this was making fun of the Cody video last week that he made. I mean, Chris Jericho had all his lines in there, even...
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
He had that one in there. And, I mean, Jericho was prime in this, but the lady playing his aunt friend or whatever it was great. She was even cussing, and Virgil as Soul Train, Jeeves, Jeff, motherfucker, that was funny, dude. I loved every second. I laughed throughout this whole video because you could tell he was making fun of the Cody video from the beginning. From the beginning.
His aunt's friend from church.
Yeah.
To give her exact title. It was fucking phenomenal.
Dude, and Sammy Guevara with the one of the lines of the night, man. It's so many sound bites. But when he said Chris Jericho, he's 48 years old, making him the youngest AEW champion in history, I was just like, I don't know, man. That golden. Just the fact that Jericho's able to poke fun at himself and still get over the match. I mean, look, that's why Jericho's a national treasure, man. He's a national treasure to the wrestling business.
Yeah. And I mean, the beginning of that promo, Cody was saying, how, it was, this is a place of freedom, a place where you can sort of do what you want and this and that. So that was the part we didn't play. We just went right to the fucking amazingness of it. But that video package and this promo are the number one and two highlights for me. I'm not sure. I think the video is better than the promo, but absolute the highlights of AEW for me. Now, Smark, you were over there, of course, nice and patient. You gave a quick little thought about the promo. Go ahead and do that, and then give us your thoughts on the video.
The promo itself, I really enjoyed in terms of it being the Hard Times, his version of. I feel like I need to listen to it or watch it a couple more times, in the future to see if it holds up. Because it worked really well tonight, but then there's certain segments where it works well for the show that it's on, and then you kind of revisit it a couple of years or months, weeks, whatever later, and it's not quite what it was. So we'll see about that. Cornette actually said on Twitter that the exact sentiment that it's his Hard Times promo.
Wow.
And Cornette, of course, is always generous with his reviews on wrestling, so there you go. But anyways, in terms...
No, he's generous on Cody Rhodes and MJF, and that's about it from AEW. So, but yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. Please proceed, sir.
Oh, yeah, no worries. In terms of the segment, I will say, I was talking to you guys before we started, I watched Raw this week, I've watched NWA, I've watched Impact, and AEW Dark. And I'm saying that to say this, of like the 800 hours of wrestling that I've subjected myself to this week, that video segment was easily the best thing that I've seen this week. It was absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where, like, you could definitely tell sometimes when you see promos or video segments or whatever, you wonder how much creative output the person that's actually performing it has or did have on the project. That was 110% Jericho. That had Jericho all over it, and we are all the much more better for it.
Yeah, that was 100% all Jericho's input right there. You could just tell by the jokes and the things that were said. That's all Jericho material right there. And great, good God. Yeah, like Smart just said, we are all the better for it because that was amazing. So, absolute, those two things on the show really are going to be the two things that are going to be talked about tomorrow, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
In all due respect, we're finding that one segment, that one vignette proved why Chris Jericho was the only plausible choice for the first AEW World Champion and not Barry Windham Light. I mean, all due respect, like I said, a year from now, 6 months from now, he might turn into something in terms of personality, but you would not have gotten that kind of gold out of Hangman Page. Mm-mm. Can we all agree on that?
Oh, no, absolutely. 100% agree with that, man. 100% agree with that. But now, one thing I did notice about AEW, and I didn't catch it until tonight, I think last week did the same thing. The immediate replay is not there anymore.
Well, because it's on it's on about 80 different platforms with True TV, Lifetime, TNT Plus,
Oxygen, Logo. It's everywhere. I'm surprised they're not on Logo yet. But soon. Oh, don't worry about it. They will be. A&E, they're on everything. But I did notice that they have stopped it on the TNT. I think Batman Begins came on tonight. And last week, I think a movie came on too. I just completely forgot to mention it. But the one thing that I like that they're doing right from the get-go, right from the start of the show, they're not always opening with that 20-minute promo or, altercation. It's been mostly right to a match. So I like that they're not starting with these 20-minute drawn-out promos, and they're doing it a little different, which thank God. But they're doing it a little different than WWE because, pretty much every Raw starts out the same way. Promo, backstage segment, commercial.
Yeah, it's just like it comes down to balance. Like whether it's AEW, NXT, great wrestling on both shows, but I feel like they still need to find that sweet spot of just having the perfect mix of wrestling, solid wrestling, mixed with the entertainment aspect. Because as good as the wrestling is, right? You can't have a 2-hour show of nothing but match after match after match because you're going to get bored. Because after a while, the matches start to bleed together. Like, how many times can you see a guy do a dive over the top, through the ropes, tope suicida? It's impressive as shit. But if that's all you're getting over a 2-hour period, you're going to get bored. So you just got to find that sweet spot.
You have those Brandy videos, too, to keep you entertained.
Yeah. Fuck that segment.
Oh, we'll get into that. Oh, my God. Yeah, we will definitely get into that. I promise you, we will get into that.
I want to get into that, but that segment was horrible.
Yeah.
That's about the best thing I can say about it.
She's dressed like when I see her, you know who I think of? Jasmine Guy in Harlem Nights. What was it? Dominic LaRue?
Sunshine. No, I'm sorry. That was Layla Vachon.
Yeah. Dominic LaRue. That was her name in that movie.
Yeah.
That's who she reminds me of. I'm like, why is she dressed like she's in Harlem Nights? What the fuck? Once again, you are not going to get me to buy Brandy Rhodes as a badass, and especially going up against Awesome Kong. Ain't going to happen. Fuck off. Do everything you can. It ain't going to work. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. Now that we've already talked about that, I think that's pretty much all that needs to be said. Pac versus Trent. That happened. Now, really, the only thing I got from this match is, holy shit, Orange Cassidy is over like a motherfucker.
Now, absolutely. But what did you think about? And I actually like this. I mean, Orange Cassidy, he's in small doses. He's definitely growing on me. But what did you like about Pac not being with the shit at all? Totally no sold it and just said, fuck this. I gotta stay true to my gimmick. What did you think of that?
Well, he's a little bastard, you know. I heard that little giggle back there. There you go. Smart just posted that picture. Jesus. See, she's dressed just like that, isn't she?
She sure was. You were spot on with that comparison.
Hey, very rarely, but when I am, holy shit, look out. It's rare that I'm correct, but look at that. But, yeah, all she's missing is the veil, and I think at one point in the movie she did. When she first was seen, she had a little veil on her face. So, but yeah, man, Orange Cassidy's over like him. And now, Pac, no selling everything, Anthony, and doing his thing. That's Pac. Yeah, he's kind of he kind of is just like that, dude. That's his gimmick. I mean, like I said, he's a little bastard, you know.
He's a heel, and it did get a really big boo when he decided to just sandbag him.
It did, but I mean, look, the crowd ate it up. Remember, that's the smarky IWC crowd, so they like shit like that.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Orange Cassidy's definitely over like a motherfucker, no doubt about that. With the people that are in the AEW already. But did you like the fact? I mean, I don't know. Like, did you like the fact that like a serious character no-sold it, because you don't want to run into that issue of, as over as he is with the crowds now, you don't want to have like serious characters selling for that shit, because it's going to like chip away at them more than it's going to help build him up. So you think they're going to keep him like on a peripheral with things?
A little bit, type of stuff. But when you have people start selling like hell for those fake, those bullshit little tip taps he does, that's when the gimmick's gone. Just fucking change the gimmick, because it's dead. Absolutely dead.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, a lot of the number of times I've seen him wrestle on Independence, not a lot of his opponents really do sell for that move. It's usually just them kind of looking perplexed, not unlike how Pac did tonight.
Basically how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. All right. Still got you guys, right?
Yeah.
I will say, real quick here, I felt a little bit sorry for Beretta, because he came out first, followed by Chuck Taylor. Beretta got pretty much no response. Chuck Taylor got a pretty decent response, and then Orange Cassidy got that huge pop. So I felt a little bit bad for him that it was just kind of radio silence when he came out.
Like I said, man, I feel like I still feel like Chuck Taylor's a little overrated. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Orange Cassidy thing, and yeah, he is over like a motherfucker. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Watching the crowd fucking, chant and cheer for this fucking guy, because they fucking love it. But, and guys, they did it again. We spent another 2.5, 3 minute break staring at fucking random people in the crowd.
Yeah, look, man, I want to be patient, but we're 6 weeks in. They got to do better with this. Like, they'll stay live on like random people in the crowd, women's matches that don't really end, that are kind of enemy. But then you'll cut the break in the middle of a Jericho promo. or Jericho entry. I don't who is timing this show out? Because the things that they choose to focus on sometimes it just kind of perplex me.
Yeah, it's really odd. Go ahead, Smark. I saw you over there. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I would imagine, knowing what I know about television production, which is absolutely nothing, but I would imagine that the network decides when they do the picture-in-picture thing. But like you guys have been saying, it's 6 shows now. Like by now, you should know kind of when those are coming and what you should probably be putting on during those moments.
Yeah.
Like, once again, there was another promo or like backstage segment with Private Party. No audio. There was a segment, or the same break, there was a segment with the Dark Order. Like, these are characters we know pretty much nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they need this time. They could definitely benefit from something, some kind of a promo where you get a better feel for what they're for, other than just seeing them in the backstage area. Like, that does nothing for no one. Or anyone, I should say. No double negatives here. We're a grammar-friendly podcast.
Well, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Do they need to have picture-in-picture for fucking for that Jamie Hayter and Emi Sakura match? Really? And I'm not shitting on the women, and I'm not shitting on the match, but really, is that like meat and potatoes of this show? No, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't need to see a 5-minute commercial break of Pac walking to the locker room, looking on pissed off and shit at life. I mean, it's just like the shit that y'all choose to focus on just, I don't know, boggles my mind.
Yeah, it really does. And that's one thing that's probably my main nitpick right now with AEW is the fact that these commercial breaks are just annoying at this point. You're just choosing the wrong spots. And if it's the network choosing the spots, someone needs to be fired. I'm sorry, dude, but damn, put the fucking pipe down when you're doing commercials or something, man. But yeah, 100% they need to fucking work on there. Now, we already talked about the Cody promo. Now, I'm sorry, but when I see this Wizard of Oz type entrance for him, I just have to laugh. Am I the only one?
No, you're not wrong. It is kind of ridiculous.
Overblown.
It's like
overblown.
It's really blowing their load, and I mean he has to do it every time. And that Sean Spears entrance is just dog shit. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, fuck. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, some of these entrances are needing to be worked on, changed. And again, I'm not shitting on the show. I'm nitpicking again. Well, a stupid entrance isn't going to make me fucking hate a guy or anything, or even a girl for that fact. But to be over the top every show, does Cody have to come out to that every time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're introducing characters and they're going into a pay-per-view, so I'll cut them some slack in this instance, because hopefully, my hope is that once they get through Full Gear, they'll start to cycle out the people that we have been seeing on TV with a fresh set of talent. Spotlight Janela a little bit more. Maybe give Hangman Page some spotlight, because I feel like ideally they need to spread out the promo time a little bit, and then so the show isn't filled top to bottom with promos. Like I said, that sweet spot. Give guys that need some type of an introduction to the audience a spotlight promo a week. Mm-hmm. Give Santana and Ortiz. LAX, like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, if you're an indie wrestling fan specifically, you know about their lineage, but they're on national television.
We didn't talk about this last week, but I just heard you refer to them as LAX. Did you guys hear what their name is in AEW?
No, did they drop a name tonight?
Yes. Well, they have the last couple weeks have been showing on the match graphic. They are Proud and Powerful. Yes, just N, and yes, Proud and Powerful.
Oh, I heard that. I was hoping that was just like an adjective to describe these guys.
I was too.
I want to like them. I want to like what AEW is doing, and for the most part, I do. And I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I sincerely mean this. That is the worst fucking tag team name I have ever heard. Like, if you literally just called them the Puerto Rican guys, it would be less terrible.
Just call them Santana and Ortiz, to be honest with you. I mean, it's generic as fuck, but still, that's better than Proud and Powerful. That just seems like, I don't know. I'm not trying to throw the race card out there, but that just seems so condescending to these dudes. It just
somebody's called it the name of like a openly gay choir band, and that's the tops for me.
How are you, Proud and Powerful?
Yep. Also, note,
he's proud. I'm powerful. Oh, sorry.
and just so we can go down a rabbit hole of racing just a little bit more. We were talking about the Jericho vignette earlier, right?
So far, it's just you bringing up the race stuff, Anthony. But keep going. Go ahead.
I mean, but they were identified as street thugs.
Well, one was described as a street thug. The other one was described as a ruffian. I think Ortiz was a ruffian.
Now, a ruffian just reminds me of a juvenile delinquent. That's what that word reminds me of. A kid who shouldn't be out on the street. Look at that ruffian over there. Ruffian does not sound tough to me at all. And
it's very old-timey. Like I said, everything had Jericho's touch on it, and that was definitely one of those.
Yeah, and the street thug thing they've been saying for like 3 weeks now. I've caught it. I've caught it. I caught it from JR. They're street thugs. That's what JR. Come on, it's JR, dude.
Yeah, but he was saying that before they turned heel.
I know.
He's looking up street thug.
Look at up street thug. God damn it.
Like, Jesus Christ, it's the locker room. They just want to shake your hands. Calm down a little, guy.
Goddamn ruffian.
I'm here. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hopefully, I want AEW to last for as long as possible, just so I can live to see the Young Bucks be middle aged, like I would say between like 45, 50 years old. Have JR on commentary, just these young whippersnappers. Fuck, they're old as fuck. just.
Fucking
are we really going to sit out here and pretend these bastards are still young bucks? Matt Jackson, by God, he's 46 fucking years old.
Yeah, they're already
the
adult.
gimmick's over.
Yeah, they're definitely.
I had actually seen an independent show this year that had Kid Cash on it, and they're still calling him Kid Cash, and he was Kid Cash in original ECW.
Yeah, he's definitely not a kid anymore. And yeah, the young bucks are definitely at this point the adult bucks. But what are you going to do at this point? Oh.
That's the one thing about when you have a kid-friendly gimmick.
Yeah, definitely. So
everything okay? I thought I lost y'all guys for a sec.
No, I'm there. Yeah, I went on mute for just a second there. So, but all right, what was next here? We did have that. We were just kind of talking about the Dark Order Private Party match. Did you catch the Golden Line by Schiavone? What a maneuver!
Phenomenal.
And he even said, "Oops, I didn't mean that."
I actually did not catch that. I'm glad you brought that to my attention.
I caught it.
Nah,
it was pretty early in the match, and he went, "What a maneuver!" And I was like, "Oh my God, he didn't."
And you know what? The thing about Tony Schiavone, even when he was his commentary wasn't the greatest. The one thing I always respected about the guy is he always called the match. He always called the move.
Yep.
He never mailed that aspect of his commentary in. He would actually call the match.
Dude, I never had. I've said this before. I've said it on the old show. I'll say it on this show. I think I've already said it on this show. I never had a problem with Tony Schiavone. I never had a problem with him putting shit over as historical, the greatest in the world. Yeah, it's kind of his job.
Dude, I get what you're saying, but when it's 2000 and you're fucking calling like Evan Courageous versus the Dog match, and you're calling that the greatest shit in the history of our sport, come on, man.
Man, you gotta get
it got to be comical, bro.
Anthony, that check's gotta clear, man. That check's gotta clear, brother.
Dude,
come on, Smart. That check, that check's gotta clear, right?
That's right. Hey, you pay me enough money, and I'll say fucking Prince Iake as greatest cruiserweight ever.
And it has to be signed, Anthony. The check has to be signed, and it's got to clear, brother. There's two things. It's got to get both, and you just gotta. Sometimes you gotta toe that line to get that done.
Yeah, here. I guess fuck integrity when you got a mortgage.
Dude, integrity stops at like 35. Come on, please. Trust me, after you have your first kid, integrity is gone.
Yeah.
Oh God, how are we going to afford this? It's all you're thinking. It's all you're thinking the rest of the time. But yeah, that was pretty much the only thing that I caught in this match. Then we had that wonderful Jericho video. I think we already talked about that. Then we had the women's match, which they pinned their champion already. They pinned their champion already.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but I guess they're supposed to have pay-per-view match this week. And I guess it doesn't really forgive them or make it any better, but I guess this was their way of making the match official or building a feud with what little time they did choose to use to build it.
Now, let me ask you, Mark, and then I'll get Box's thoughts on this. Just based on the flow of this show, do you think AEW with their with the Full Gear or with their pay-per-views going forward, they're going to use the WWE formula of having the guy that, like they'll throw out those red herrings, the guy that normally goes over on the go-home show normally ends up doing a job at the pay-per-view? So in other words, the show ends with Cody standing tall.
Oh yeah, I know.
You think they'll follow that formula, or they're going to flip the script and give you the predictable ending?
Oh, they're probably
even
gonna,
though I don't think Cody's winning though.
No. We're still in the women's match here, right?
Yeah.
I know that she's gonna win, but it was just this is another time where I would rather you want to be different. End this match another way. Have someone come out and attack her. Someone.
Yeah. Also,
DQ.
We're jumping ahead. Let's go back to the beginning for a second.
Uh-oh.
I feel like the opposing team of Sakura, I think her name is, and Hayter, like how she came out dressed as Freddie Mercury. Like what about that makes her a heel? Like I was confused. I assume that they were the heel team because Jamie Hayter was wearing black. And normally, if you're wearing black, you're either a heel or you're in Ring of Honor. So it's hard to tell what exactly was going on there.
Is that because Ring of Honor is dying a slow death?
Well, that's because everybody has the same attire. I guess they have some kind of like buy and bulk deal, like they go to Costco for their ring attire.
Oh, all right. I guess I took the meaning different. But
coincidentally, Costco is where Ring of Honor will be holding their next show. So get your tickets at your local Costco.
That's a step up from. That's a step up from Walmart, man. You shouldn't be fucking with Costco, man. It's fucked up, man. Have you ever seen how big of a box of cheese that you can get at Costco, dude? Come on, man. You put Costco
free
down.
Samples.
Fuck yeah, dude. You go there during lunch, you get free samples. Besides the fact you can get a fucking huge hot dog and a drink for $1.50. Holy shit, man. Fuck with Costco.
Remind everyone that we are sponsored by Costco.
There's going to be no fucking with Costco on this show, sir. Absolutely not. we have to draw our morality. I don't care if you talked about fucking cum guzzling, but you will not put down Costco on this show, goddammit. We have a moral line that we will not cross, sir.
All right. Ric Flair autographs in aisle 18.
Ooh, right in the paper towel aisle.
If you throw in an extra $50, he'll wake you up with a woo.
Oh, there you go. Let you video it too. No, I'm sorry. To video it, it's $60. But and by the way, Smart, I isn't Jamie Hayter just like a goth girl? So wouldn't she always wear black either way? Like Paige wears black, but
Ooh, yeah, I suppose so. I'm not sure that I would really want my career drawing any parallels to Paige, though.
Well, I mean, and some girls do. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I don't get the whole Freddie Mercury thing either. It's weird. It's odd. But they've got a weird thing with heels and baby faces, and I'll actually get to that at the end because I do want to mention MJF. But
can I interject one thing real quick while we're on the women's match here for a second?
Of course.
I mean, I know Riho just from past shows. But I would say, like, whenever they're going to do a match like this, for example, where you haven't really introduced these characters, do a quick video package. I feel like my one nitpick with AEW is they basically assume everybody knows their storylines, knows who their characters are. I really think they need to do a better job of educating these different characters. Because to Smark's point earlier about Trent Beretta getting zero reaction, that's because beyond the hug gimmick, he hasn't really had any promo time. Like, what are his motives? What are the tag team? What are their goals as a tag team? What's their mission statement? We don't really get that from these performers. Like I said, if you watch indie wrestling for any number of years, you know who Chuck Taylor is. You know Trent Beretta. But they had to do a better job of educating a wider audience because TNT reaches around the world, across the world. You have to do a better job of educating people on who these people are and don't just kind of throw them out there in random matches.
Mm-hmm. They got to coordinate better.
They
got to coordinate better.
Bang, bang, bang.
Mm-hmm. They got to coordinate a little better. Get some coordination going.
I will say, though, to kind of echo Anthony's point real quick, like, they're spending a lot of time and money and resources on getting outside views, you know, all the advertising they do during the World Series or during NBA games, things of that nature. But then they're kind of also relying upon people who follow the independent scene to be their viewership and to just kind of know who people like that are, people who, you know, people like Joey Janela, who he is, and, you know, who, just the various kind of people who they haven't really given time to flesh out their characters yet.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with both of you. They just need some fucking. We keep saying they need time, but they keep making some of the same mistakes every week.
I mean, like, remember, I forgot what it was. You guys can bet. I can't remember what game it was, but it was Chris Jericho. It was at a game, and they were plugging the shit out of AEW. But when they did the little graphic, they identified Chris Jericho as WWE Superstar.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that was embarrassing, man. Come on.
Well, nobody knows who the fuck these guys are yet, man. It's gonna take time, and we know who they are. But we're also ingrained in this little wrestling bubble that we're all in, so that makes a little bit of a difference right there. But I mean, they do. Again, that's another thing they need to work on. They do need to introduce people better. Meanwhile, like we've been saying, most of the videos that they do have are really good. Man, they're never gonna. They got a lot to live up to with that Jericho video because I don't know if anything's ever gonna be as gloriously wonderful as that Jericho video was. But
for a number of reasons. Because first off, it was well produced. Jericho's good at the goofball comedy, the cornball comedy. Even though it's cornball, Jericho knows how he has a knack for being able to pull that off. Also, it's going to be hard to get stuff like that in the future because they really don't have anybody on that roster that has that quirkiness, that charisma that Jericho has, that personality.
He works from a comfortable spot, though, that some of the other people don't necessarily have the luxury of. Because he's been in the business long enough. I would imagine this is kind of his last hurrah. So he can afford to make himself look silly, to look vulnerable, whereas some of the younger guys either shouldn't or don't want to be put in that position.
Yeah, I mean, he'll just fall into a backstage spot, bing, bang, boom, so he'll be fine. He
can bounce back from anything.
But they used to call Jericho like Teflon.
But I mean, Soul Train Jones, holy shit, man. Just some absolutely great stuff. Great fucking stuff.
Oh God, like Vox, you think if we had got a fuck money or a meat sauce reference out of Soul Train, we could have just wrapped the show up there. Yeah. They could have just wrapped the show up there.
They could have. That
20 minutes in.
Absolute greatness out of the whole thing. Now we're jumping back, but now we're going to jump ahead to, we talked a little bit about this just a few minutes ago, and then we're almost done with this thing. Actually, we rolled through it pretty fucking quick. The Brandy Rhodes video, where, once again, we have Harlem Nights, Dominic LaRue out there, Jasmine guy, if you will. Just, once again, do you guys agree? Is there any way you'll ever buy her as a badass, especially going up against, it looks like she's going up against Awesome Kong? Does this make any sense to you?
It's douchey. Is douchey, plain and simple. And this is where people can kind of point to, like I said, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. You can't criticize WWE for doing the same type of shit with Triple H or Stephanie or Vince over the years of overexposing people. Did Cody not mention a promo about management putting themselves on camera, putting themselves on television, he referenced his father as being in management and also being the top guy at the time. So I look at it like this. If Brandy had any semblance of talent in the ring, she has some promo ability. She's a well-spoken lady. I'm not going to say she's terrible at promos. I like to, balance my compliments with my criticisms.
She can read. Wait a minute. So you're saying she can read lines well?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, yes. But in terms of it's obnoxious. It's obnoxious for a person who is not at that level. You know what I mean? At least you can point to like Stephanie's, like she has the promo ability, she has this, she has that, she's a shit wrestler, but you can point to the positives of Stephanie at least justifying her placement on the show over the years. Yeah. I don't see that. I don't really see that in Brandy.
No, I don't see anything except hotness in Brandy. That's pretty much all I see. She can read lines great, but
no. But Smart, I know you want something. I know you got something to say on this. So please.
Go ahead, man. Go for it.
I don't know if I could justify Stephanie's presence on the show. I turn it off every time our music hits. I think we're on a different wavelength with that one. I will say what I think is interesting is that actually, I don't know if this is exactly what they're going for, but they just need to go ahead and fall into it. It seems like they're almost making it out to be like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing with her and Kong, where it's almost like if you piss her off enough, she just gets Kong. But instead, I feel like they should just straight have it be like kayfabe that she turns into Kong. Like, fuck it, why not? Let's just get ridiculous.
Okay, basically you're going with like a female Incredible Hulk thing.
Yeah, that's more appropriate. My reference-ometer is on the fritz today.
Yeah, I guess mine's right on. But okay. That'd be interesting. It'd be better than if you piss me off, I just scream, yell, and my Kong comes down and beats the shit out of you.
Well, because every time she was mentioning this kind of criticisms that she gotten lobbied at her, which are for the most part true, to be honest, but it is what it is. Every time she would get real worked up, they would cut to a real quick shot of Kong's face. So it seems like that's kind of what they're going for a little bit. She's at the very least, she's her heavy.
I mean, if you don't like her now, you would really hate her when she's angry.
That's right.
Really, when she's angry.
All right, so let's bottom line this. Do you think Brandy? It's obvious, right? Brandy's going to be the one to beat Riho at some point for the belt.
Yeah, sure, that'll happen eventually. Yep. And, I think so.
And it'll make a women's division that's already borderline struggling worse because I don't. Can you name anybody that they haven't signed or that they have currently under contract that could actually be a good base, a good foundation for a women's division in AEW? Because out of all of the American wrestling women's divisions right now, AEW is kind of I don't want to say last. I'll give that distinction to Ring of Honor, but they're not much better in terms of an overall roster of women to work with.
To be honest with you, and I hate to say this, but I think NWA's women's division right now is the worst. But I mean, they're a new show and they're just getting that put together. So once again, we'll give them a little leeway too. But that's the problem with their women's division. They haven't established anybody really.
It's hard to say because they have people that are good at promos and they have people that are good at wrestling, but I don't feel like they really have anybody right now that's good at both in terms of the women's division. Because you have, she wrestled on AEW Dark, you have Mercedes Martinez, she's a veteran, she's a really good wrestler, but I've never heard her cut a promo, and I think there's probably a reason for that. And then I would say, honestly, it kind of seems like they've been calling an audible. Because it seems like maybe Nyla Rose was supposed to be the face of the division, and then they realized that she was absolute dog shit in the ring, which was their fault for not doing any research, but it is what it is. So then they were putting a lot of eggs, if you remember, before they even started running shows on TNT. Kylie Ray, they were putting a lot of eggs in her basket. They were saying that Cody said that she was a more authentic version of what Bayley is. And then I don't know what happened, but she just decided to leave. She parted ways with them. So I feel like they're kind of scrambling. As far as the women go on their roster, the only person I could really point to that they have, as far as I know, is like you have Kong, obviously. She's pretty well-rounded. But then also I would probably say out of everyone, I would probably go with Allie. Because she's a pretty solid wrestler, but she also has some personality to her. And she has explosiveness, as we've referred to it before as.
Mm-hmm. All right. I could see him doing that. But, I mean, they really don't. I'd have to look at the roster, but pretty sad. I can't think of one girl on that roster that I can see doing it. No.
Now, I mean, look. I mean, Antox is taking me to task in the chat here about Brandy being champion. Dude, is it really that out of the realm of possibility? She's married to one of the executives in the company. I mean, is it really that out of the question to think that this woman could be a champion?
Yeah, and Sean is saying Britt Baker. Dude, that girl gets hurt when she walks to the ring, basically. Every time she leaves the ring, she's injured. I don't think I'd put a fucking title on that girl. I'm sorry. But,
I mean, they didn't put the belt on her, but they've been putting the majority of promo time in her hands, and it doesn't seem like it's really paying off so far.
No, then she goes to the ring, has a match, comes out, she's injured. Then she has another promo. Then she goes back to the ring and gets injured. And she has another promo. Then she goes back to the ring and gets injured. And she has. See the pattern I'm going with here, guys?
Yeah.
While we're talking about her real quick, I want to get you guys' opinion on this in case we don't discuss AEW Dark in the future this week. She was talking about her match with B. Priestley that she's going to have. And they built a video package around it. And she was saying that the crux of her problem with her was that she was unprofessional and she injured her. And she wasn't supposed. You're not supposed to injure the people that you wrestle or hurt badly, was her exact words. And they were doing this like as a actual video package to sell the pay-per-view, but it was like very kind of insidery because she was basically saying that she didn't work safe. So I wanted to get what you guys thought about that. If that's the right way to build a feud, or if it's the wrong way to build a feud.
Wrong way, my opinion.
Yeah, all those insider terms, building feuds. And like I said, I get it. Their audience is mostly that IWC kind of, us, basically. That's what it is. But, yeah, I don't think that's the right way to build a fucking feud at all. I don't like doing that. I don't like tearing people down to try to build a feud up. I know you do it, but there's a right way and a wrong way. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I was just going to say, basically, it's 2019. People know the deal with wrestling. So, that horse is way out of the barn. I get it. But I feel like this, whether you're a casual fan, whether you're a hardcore fan, when you go to a show, when you invest time in a good movie, you want to get lost in that universe. You don't want to be constantly reminded that what you're watching is not real. From a kayfabe standpoint, you should want to hurt your opponent because then you hurting them leads to a pin, a victory, leads to more money in your pocket. You're basically exposing the fact that, yeah, we're out here playing around. We're not trying to hurt each other. We're just play acting here. We're performance artists. To steal hopefully Jordan Grace doesn't have a copyright on that phrase yet.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things where it just exposes the business, and I really feel like one of the keys to getting wrestling back on track a little bit in 2019 and beyond is getting back to the basics, suspending that disbelief. Obviously you can't take it back to the 60s and the 70s where people believe what they're watching is real, but at least in the context of a 2-hour show on a Monday or a Wednesday or whenever the show was on, allow people to get lost in that universe.
Yeah,
Don't,
and I mean,
don't point shit out.
It might be a matter of semantics, but it's like, it's right there on the table. You can just reword things a little bit and still have it work within the realm of keeping it kayfabe, I guess. Because you could, just the whole idea of just saying that she tried to permanently injure her, or she tried to, end her career or whatever, try to put her out of commission so she can't make money and provide for herself or whatever. You could totally still do that under the guise of not beating somebody over the head with, well, this is fake and she doesn't know how to work, so I'm going to kick her ass.
Yeah. I think I'd go with that. Definitely, like I said, right way, wrong way. And I don't think that's the right way. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this, but just not the greatest. But all right, let's continue. I think we've pretty much said how bad Brandy is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I think we all agree. Okay, there we go. Okay. Brandon Cutler versus Shawn Spears. This was once again that Shawn Spears entrance is fucking horrible.
Fuck Shawn Spears.
Fucking horrible, man. I just
fuck Shawn Spears. A waste of Tully Blank. Look, I'm sorry, dude. You will never be able to convince me that Ty Dillinger will ever be worth a damn in pro wrestling. I'm sorry. He has a window. He has a ceiling. His success in wrestling has a ceiling. I will admit that he was horribly misused on the main roster. Part of that was on WWE. Part of that was on him for not growing past the 10 gimmick. But this it's like from 0 to 100 with this guy. Yeah. Like I said, I think he was capable of more than what he was allowed to show on the main roster WWE, no doubt. But you're not. I'm not buying him as this badass all of a sudden. It's just not believable. I'm sorry. Coming to the ring, he's all dark and brooding all of a sudden. When just a year, not even barely a year ago, I saw this guy on TV throwing up tens and smiling and tagging hands and kissing babies. I know he basically is in a different company now, so he's getting a fresh start. But just personality-wise, there should be some semblance of continuity to your character. Just because you jump from one company to another doesn't mean your whole persona should change. You look at like a Scott Hall, for example. The only difference between WWF Scott Hall and WCW Scott Hall is the gimmick, is the name. But the charisma, the swag, the disposition, he had the same general characteristics that you fell in love with once he jumped over to WCW. He didn't just become a totally different person.
Sure.
Yeah, and we do have some Scott Hall video to play in a little, or audio to play in a little while after we do all this. But I don't know. Go ahead, Smark. I heard you over there.
Actually, I was going to ask you a question. I want to see if maybe my referenceometer is back in better position. Does he, to you, kind of come off as like an Eli Drake type, where he's not necessarily terrible at anything, but at the same time, what about him is interesting?
Yeah, I guess I would put him in the same category. I mean, I'm not the biggest Eli Drake fan in the first place, which we'll get to, obviously. But, yeah, I would put him up there in that category. I really he's just not, if he's not there for 3 months, I don't think I would notice.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something I wouldn't notice. I don't think I'd care. I don't think, hey, where's that, Shawn Spears guy? No. Wouldn't care. Wouldn't notice. Wouldn't even ask. What about you, Anthony?
He's not going to listen. You can bury him.
That says it all right there, to my opinion. He's there.
I mean, like he's a talent. Look, he's a talented guy. Let me just start off with that. He's a talented guy, but I feel like he's like a circle being forced into a square peg. He's just not at the level they want him to be at. It also didn't help that they bring him in hot with the feud with Cody, and Cody beats him in the first match.
Well,
if you really saw something in this guy, that feud shouldn't have been a one and done situation.
Well,
because coming into that feud, you would have thought, okay, I don't necessarily agree with it, but clearly they see him as like a top heel type of guy. Now he's just another guy on the roster because to the best of my knowledge, he hasn't referenced the Cody match any way, shape, or form since.
No, the only reference we got was after that show, after the match, when Cody did a promo saying it's over, it's done, it's never going to happen again. That was it.
So he buried him, and then he buried him extra. like yeah, I beat him, so there's no need to go there again. Triple H taught him well.
He's been taking those Paul Levesque notes, you know, those Triple H notes. But yeah, I mean, I think we've all basically. Oh, there you go, Antux. He says he's like a potted plant in the office. If you moved it to the other side, would you really notice? Nah, don't think I would. Honestly, I would. Honestly, right? I would probably notice the potted plant before I noticed Shawn Spears. Like, hey, you moved that potted plant. I still wouldn't ask about Shawn Spears, but I might notice you moved the plant. Put it that way. I'm just saying we can call the potted plant Mitch, huh?
Mm-hmm. But is this proof though, like that? Just because I don't know, man. Like, do you think that it's kind of lazy in retrospect? You know, Tully Blanchard, obviously, legend in wrestling, great wrestler in his day, fantastic charisma, promo. I mean, like I said, before my time, but just looking back on old clips, Tully Blanchard was fantastic on the mic. Mm-hmm. But do you think that modern wrestling now is getting lazy when it comes to actually fleshing out characters, whether it's the performers relying too much on the creative not trusting the performers anymore? Because it seems like more and more they'll take guys that are decent, that are marginal to decent, even exceptional in the ring, and sticking them with guys that have a rep for being good talkers. You know, you look at somebody like Cesaro when they paired him up with Paul Heyman, and they just take guys that, okay, we see something in you, but we think you're missing something. We'll put you with a great talker. But just because you pair somebody with a great talker doesn't mean it's going to instantaneously make them great. And I feel like they stuck Tully Blanchard with this guy thinking maybe Tully could pull something out of him. Maybe Tully can, light a fire under him, but that's not really happening. It seems like it's a waste of Tully Blanchard.
A little bit. I think they just brought in Tully because they knew they were, maybe they knew they were bringing in Arn, because Arn was already gone pretty much when all that shit started going down. So they might have brought him in just for that reason. Who knows? I mean, looks like he's just trying to get every one of the fucking horsemen over there right now. So he's close. He's got half right now. 2 out of 2 ain't bad.
Yeah, and Flair is loyal to his paycheck. He's loyal to his wallet. So trust me, it's coming. We'll get a Ric Flair appearance in AEW before 2020 is over.
One more little argument with WWE, and yeah, he's gonna be running around there. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't think I got any more on Shawn Spears. Again, I would probably notice the plant moved before I noticed Shawn Spears wasn't coming out to the ring every week. If that tells you anything, I think it should. Anyway, this is where we get to the main event, guys. Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega versus Sammy Guevara, the young Eddie Guerrero, and Chris Jericho. I said that with complete sarcasm, by the way.
So, and I'm going to get your guys' thoughts on this, because one of my main takeaways from this was Kenny Omega, going through old clips. And obviously Kenny Omega in New Japan was a sight to see, right? All of those amazing matches, the charisma, just he had an aura around him. Do you think that he's becoming a victim of weekly TV? Because I've noticed over the past 6 weeks of watching him on he hasn't been on every week, obviously, but since AEW became a thing weekly between the main show on TNT and the Dark program, it feels like he's becoming a victim of weekly TV, where he's becoming just like a regular guy. He doesn't have that same aura that he had even a year ago. Are you guys getting that, or am I kind of like reaching a little bit on that?
I get it a little bit, and I think that might be a little bit of him just not being in. I mean, New Japan did seem to make every match he had special, whether it was on a little fucking show or anything. So I guess that might have something to do with it. I'm not 100% sure I agree that he's getting stale yet. I think it'll take a little more time. Antok said you're reaching right as I say that. I don't think I agree with that completely. I think it's going to take a little time for that to happen. I think we're just not used to seeing him a lot. And now that we are, it's maybe just kind of like shell shock a little bit. Like, holy shit, we're seeing this guy every week now. And I don't know what the fuck to do. So, but, I don't think he's getting stale yet. I mean, like you said, it's only been 6 weeks. He hasn't been on every week. And pretty much every time he's out there, he does something pretty memorable. I mean, this little, the match was great and all, but the brawl afterwards was fucking amazing. Once again, they ended on a great brawl. I love when they do this.
Yeah, I actually thought he showed a little bit of personality this week because there was that video package that aired, and he basically insinuated that Moxley needs to stop acting like he's so upset that it's going to be a hardcore match because he knows perfectly well that he can't out-wrestle him.
True.
So you look like he might have been kind of flashing a little bit of heel, maybe a little bit. I think that's kind of what it might be, is that they're having him kind of become just another guy to kind of maybe lay the groundwork to him turning heel. Because like things haven't exactly gone the way that he had hoped that they were. And I could see him kind of becoming like bitter and upset about that. And then that being kind of the point where he ends up deciding to turn heel. Also, maybe another possible thing to look at when it comes to like he was in New Japan. New Japan doesn't really do promos necessarily. They do a lot of post-match like press conferences, like WWE tried to do at one point, but they do the post-match press conferences after their match where they just kind of riff a little bit, and it's usually kind of the same thing. There's like all of them kind of look alike. There's no usual kind of time or chance for them to do promos outside of that kind of box. So I feel like maybe he's trying to just kind of experiment and find his voice and to kind of find what kind of promos he wants to do.
All right, I can go with that, definitely. So all right, I think we Anthony, you pretty much started it, so that was yours. But yeah, I did. Just not like I said in New Japan. They made every Kenny Omega match seem like it was match of the year, match of the every single time. But I don't know. I just think we're still going through a little bit of shell shock here. We're seeing a lot of guys that we haven't seen weekly in a long time. I mean, we're starting to see Joey Janela more than we ever have. We're starting to see MJF more than we ever have. We're starting to see a lot of these people that we didn't see weekly more than we ever have. So
yeah, private party, like people, and in a lot of cases, this is their first exposure on national television. And like I said, you got to give people some time, and I get that. Trying to be, patient. You got to give people time because a lot of these people have never worked TV matches before. They're probably still working for the camera, working for the live crowd and that type of thing. So it's a work in progress, but man, it's wild seeing a lot. If you had told me a year ago, 6 months ago, that I would be watching guys like Joey Janela, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Private Party on Hangman on national TV weekly on TNT, it's still surreal to me to see Joey Janela on TNT. That shit is wild.
Dude, if you told me I'd be watching fucking 10 years ago that I'd be watching wrestling on TNT, I think I would laugh at you. I swear to God, I didn't even think wrestling would ever be back on TNT or any of the affiliated networks. I didn't think Turner ever wanted to get back into that business again.
Well, Turner's
he's gone, but I didn't think that company would ever want to. I thought they might have learned their lesson, but this is a much different situation. So.
Now, real quick, before we get into prediction, because I think we kind of like covered Dynamite, broke that shit down. Do you think that this will be a rebound week for AEW and NXT? Because last week they took a beating in the ratings, and they basically been on a steady decline week after week after week. Now, obviously, AEW started off hot, 1.14?
Mm-hmm. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And now they're reaching that almost 500,000 threshold, which I believe was TNT's expectation. So they definitely exceeded expectations. But do you think TNT had the threshold, like if they dip below, let's just say 500,000 is problems? Like, at what point do you think that they need to consider the ratings a problem, an issue?
I would think when they hit below that 500,000, definitely is probably a good scale to start with. I don't think they will, man. Look, man, it's just a lot of sports shit going on. Like Antox just said, there's not going to be there's no World Series anymore, no basketball, no football. They've got a good chance to definitely make a comeback. So I don't see I really think they're going to. NXT, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, and I know I keep harping on it and I keep saying it, but those people got used to watching it on the network. You can watch it on WWE Network the next day with no commercials. Why bother watching it when this brand new, fresh company is out there that has damn good wrestling too, has some really good fucking shit going on, has great video packages, and and then, you know, tomorrow or whenever you can just pop on WWE Network, since most of us fucking marks have it anyway, and watch NXT with no commercials in 1 hour and 32 minutes rather than 2 hours.
I am very interested in what the ratings are going to be, because since they incorporated NXT onto SmackDown and Raw, and they both been pretty much well received, I'm wondering how many people are, like, just out of curiosity, especially coming off of Raw, will tuned into NXT tonight to see if there was going to be any follow-up. Because I put it to you like this, NXT definitely left a positive impression if you watch SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cheap plug. Check out our review of a fantastic SmackDown last week in the archives. And Raw this week was, like I said, wasn't perfect, but solid show, getting a lot of good feedback for the most part. I wonder how many people are going to tune in live to NXT this week based off of those appearances on Raw and SmackDown.
I don't know. We'll definitely see, but I'll tell you the truth. I wish I could get my hands on those fucking, on the numbers for the network and find out exactly how many people are watching NXT on the network too.
Would you say, honestly, that's in the top 10?
Yeah.
Of most watched on the network in terms of like why people subscribe to the network, or do you think it's for something different? Because I would love to get like a top list, like a top 5, top 10 list of what's most watched on the network on a consistent basis. Because I know, like, when Conrad would do like the review shows for certain things, for like whether it was Bischoff or Tony Schiavone, back when they had the original setup for the network, you would see something random be like in like the top 10, because they would have like a most watched section, and it would be something like Halloween Havoc 95, and I'm like, why the fuck is Halloween Havoc? But then I'm like, oh, last week Conrad and Schiavone reviewed it, because they do those watch along gimmicks. So I'm curious about like what gets the most views on the network on a daily basis or a week to week basis. Those are numbers I'm interested in, because that kind of dictates what kind of content we get.
Yeah, I would figure NXT is up there, man. And like I said, the people that got used to watching it are just going to keep watching it where they want it, where they started off watching it. There's no reason. Why would they change? It's habit, dude. People are creatures of habit. We all are. I am. So, I don't know. I just don't see it. But, all right. So you guys want to... Oh, one thing I did want to mention before we get too far away from Dynamite. It's very weird knowing what a great heel MJF is, and he's still a heel when he comes to the ring. I realize that. But it's just weird seeing him out there with all the baby faces.
Speculation time. Do you guys think he's injured?
Maybe.
Because he seems like he has the talent, and he seems like he's somebody that they need, or that they could at least very much benefit from his ability to generate heat. Like, he's an incredible heel. And before they started coming on TV, a lot of people were talking about him that were seeing him perform on the pay-per-views that they did. And outside of him just being in Cody's corner, And I'm sure something will come of that. I'm not saying that it won't.
Right.
But outside of him just being in Cody's corner, we really haven't seen him on his own at all.
I think that's by design, honestly. It's almost like they're trying to distract you. It's almost like they're trying to outsmart the smarts here. Because they're probably thinking like, oh, everybody's predicting like he's just going to turn on Cody, cost him the belt. So they're trying to almost make him a background player, almost make you forget that he's there. Because if you notice, has he had a match on AEW since they went on TNT?
I don't think so.
Because yeah, he's basically to Smark's point, for all of the buzz that this guy was generating online for himself, it did seem kind of off to me that they haven't put him in a spotlight position on the show yet. But I really feel like that's by design, and I really feel like once they get through Full Gear, that's when you're going to see more of an MJF presence on the show. But I feel like they want you to forget about him, so that when the turn comes, which is coming, it'll be like, oh my, it'll be jarring.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a lot of this by design. And by the way, I want to clear. I said it was weird. I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say it was awful. I didn't say it was stupid. It's just weird seeing MJF there standing beside all the baby faces, knowing what an incredible heel he is. It's just odd. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's shitty. I'm not saying it's stupid. Just weird.
Now,
that's it.
Now, do you think that Cody, or no, Cody, he's probably too smart for this, but do you think that they're going to indirectly make Cody Sting 2019? And by that I mean make him one of the most oblivious baby faces in the history of wrestling. Where it seems like everybody around him, the fans, people within his circle, they know MJF is full of shit, but he just refuses to see the obvious. Do you think they're gonna make Cody that level of babyface where he's just oblivious to things?
No, I don't think Cody would let anyone get over on him like that, even in storyline. Nope, I don't see that happening, buddy. Nope. What about you, Smart?
You agree with that, Smart?
Well, I mean, I feel like one of the other possible alternatives. Words are hard today. I feel like one of the only other possible alternatives is that Cody turns heel. And do we really need another fucking authority heel character for the 8th billionth time in wrestling?
Exactly, dude. Yeah, and I just don't see him getting that at all. I don't see Cody doing that for anybody. He may lose a match or two, but he ain't going to be an idiot. That ain't going to happen. After these wonderful videos they put out about him being so great and wonderful, are you kidding me? Come on, Anthony. This is Cody. This is the Wizard of AEW we're talking about here, dude. Have you seen his entrance, motherfucker? Jesus Christ, Anthony.
Now, if you had to guess, with the options available, who do you think will be blessed to get that first win over Cody Christ? Like who on that roster will be put over to unbelievable degrees by pinning Cody Rhodes on national TV? Because it has to happen at some point.
Brandy. I'm kidding. It was a fucking joke. Calm down. All right.
Jordan Miles approves of that comment. Hashtag for the culture. Box, your t-shirt will be in the mail.
Jordan smiles. Jeez. He still hasn't given up, by the way. Anyway, I do not want to get into it this week. We broke it down last week. We're not doing it. Man, who would be the one to pin Cody? You know what? I got to tell you something. I could see Cody lying down for like a Sammy Guevara or someone like that, just to get them over. That I could see Cody doing. Anyone else?
I mean, he is a young Guerrero, which I don't think I mentioned this last week, but I think that was kind of overblown. I didn't take it as JR literally comparing a prime Eddie Guerrero to Sammy Guevara, but maybe like a younger Eddie Guerrero, because you got to remember, Jim Ross has been around a long time. So maybe he sees elements of a young Eddie Guerrero and a young Sammy Guevara that we don't see. Or, I really think people kind of like took that a little too literally.
Or is just every Latin person to him Eddie Guerrero? Yeah, he is older. He's a boomer sooner. Keyword there being boomer. But maybe they just, they're all Eddie Guerrero to me. No? No, maybe. All right, I'm just saying.
Well, when he starts referring to Private Party as a young Harlem Heat, it's time to get him off commentary.
No. Is it any more racial than you guys remember the Mexicans?
Yes.
And I loved how they shortened Juventud Guerrera's name because, quote, we don't want people to get confused with Guerrero and Guerrera because, people being Mexican, they all look alike. I love how they did. Jesus Christ. Man, I swear to Christ. I mean, I don't think it was a racial thing, man, necessarily, but just the fact that they just think wrestling fans are so stupid that they couldn't differentiate between Guerrero and Guerrera. Come on, man. It's just.
Well, and also I always wondered about that because Guerrera, I believe in the Spanish language, things that end in A are mostly feminine.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm correct there. Obviously, our Spanish Kentuckian over here, Smart, is agreeing with me. Didn't realize you were fluent, sir, but good to know. Good to know.
2 weeks on Duolingo will help you out quite a bit.
There you go. Thought you were doing those one of those Sharon Stone videos that teach you the.
Look, I've been boning up at the community college, brother. Get off my back.
I don't know. I'm not sure what euphemism you mean by boning up. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. Let's go ahead and get into AEW before this show just takes a complete fucking capsize.
Let's get into them full gear.
For
once.
Yep. Go ahead, Anthony. You were ramping up there. Go for it.
No, I was just gonna say it feels good to not have to review 18 matches on one show. Because as we kind of do this review, it's only 5 announced matches, right?
8 matches right now.
8? Well, okay.
Yeah, only 8, and that is including one pre-show match. If you're looking to find out where can I watch Full Gear? You guys know where you can watch it. You can watch it on BR Live for $49.99. Go ahead, let it sink in. I said it, $49.99. That is going to be the cost of the pay-per-view. So we're back to paying $50 a pay-per-view. You folks know how to get around this. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further with that. We're just going to leave it at that. And from there, let's go ahead and get into some of these matches. Start with the pre-show. What do you say? We talked about this match already talked about this match for just a couple of seconds earlier. The singles match between Bea Priestley and Britt Baker.
I'm going to go Britt Baker just because out of all the women on the roster, she's basically gotten the most consistent promo time.
Okay, yeah. I'll say Britt Baker as long as she doesn't get injured. I mean, she is going to the ring, so there's always that possibility with her. Boy, for a doctor, she has brittle bones. But anyway, Smart, what do you think? Britt Baker, Bea Priestley.
Well, that's right. As a proud resident of Britsburg, I too am taking Britt Baker.
Awesome. All right, first match we agree on. All right, so let's get into this now. Joey Janela versus Sean Spears. Just a singles match. A lot of singles matches. Of course, they don't have a lot of titles right now, so I'm actually enjoying the fact that they only have, 3 titles right now? Good with that. Perfect with that. So, in this match, I'm going to go Joey. I don't really want Sean. I think Sean Spears need to lose and go away.
Joey Janela just because fuck Sean Spears and because I feel like they have some plans for Joey going forward. Sean Spears, not so much.
I think he's going to get his loss back from losing to Cody. I don't want him to, but I think that's what's going to happen.
A flashback? Is that what you said?
Get his win back, I guess.
Oh, get his
lost
win back.
Cody.
Right.
I feel like that's how they're going to atone for that.
Possibly. All right, Antok says in that first match he's going with B. He's going against both of all three of us guys, and he's sticking with us in the this match. So we're all going with Joey here.
No,
I'm going with Spears.
Smart was going with Spears.
Smarts is you fucking oddball cunt. Anyway,
a box. Are you doing your customary keeping up with the picks and shit?
No. No. Well, no, I'm not. Well, maybe I'll listen back and we'll figure it out next week. We'll see who wins. Maybe. I could print them, but I don't have room for a pen or anything here, so I can't do it here. Anyway, where were we?
What kind of Booker man are you, man?
I don't respect you, Booker man.
The lazy kind, sir. Anyway, we've got the next match, which is going to be SoCal Uncensored, which right now is only Frankie and Kazarian and Scorpio Sky versus the Lucha Brothers, obviously Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, versus Private Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, a.k.a. Simon Phoenix. This is a three-way tag team match. This is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, and we all know right now SoCal Uncensored is the champions at the moment. What do we think here, guys? I think we can all agree it's not going to be Private Party. I think they're pretty much out of the winning conversation. Anyone agree there?
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'm going to go with SoCal Uncensored retaining. I feel like it's too soon to play hot potato with the belts. Let them kind of like gain some traction as champion, see what they can do, and like just kind of like do like a long form feud with Lucha Brothers.
You pretty much said exactly what I was going to say, so I will just say ditto. I agree with everything you said. Smart, what you got there?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make that 3. I really don't want to see them as champions, but I feel like that's what we're getting for at least a couple months.
Yeah, and like Anthony was saying, even if you don't want them to be champions, I also don't want them to start hot potatoing their title like they don't mean dick right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like you said, that's what we're getting, and that's kind of what we should all hope for right now is the fact that they don't start doing the classic WWE formula of hot potatoing their titles. Because, I mean, they've got to establish some lineage in their titles now. They got this is it. This is the only time they got. So to start changing it would look ridiculous. Go ahead, Anthony. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. I was just going to say, just add to that. As long as they kind of as long as they limit themselves to like one pay-per-view a quarter, they'll be good. They'll be golden. Mm-hmm. So guys can get those long title reigns, and they have weekly TV to kind of fill in the gaps of title defenses without kind of like filling we got a pay-per-view. So a lot of times you'll see title changes just because it's a pay-per-view coming up. Just because a pay-per-view needs like a moment to kind of like make it memorable, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. But because they don't have that many pay-per-views, it's no reason why they should be hot potato in the titles back and forth. So that they have no excuses to not, like you said, Vox, to create like a solid lineage for their belts.
Yep. Yeah. I think we beat that into the ground.
Sure.
All right. Next we have Riho versus Emi Sakura. This is a singles match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Riho, obviously, is the holder of that title right now, and I think she will keep it. What do you guys think?
I'll let Smart take this one first.
Okay.
Well, the Sakura, I don't get her gimmick, and I just said that to make the chat room upset. Anyways, yeah, I think Riho's keeping it.
Well, don't you get, man? She likes Freddie Mercury. Okay, does she need the fucking mustache? We get it. Anyway, and the only reason I'm saying Riho is for the exact reason we just gave for the last title. I mean, it's the exact same thing. The lineage has to be there, and do not start hot potatoing any of your titles right now. They need to keep them on these people one way or the other. I don't care if it's by fucking DQ or what, but it's got to be there. Anthony, so what do you think?
I'm going to go with Riho.
Yeah.
Echo on both of your sentiments. And plus, I feel like she's just keeping it warm for Brandy at some point.
All right. I think we've beat up Brandy enough. I mean, we're already going to get shit for it. I mean, you're not supposed to shit on the king and the queen of the indies. All right. So anyway, singles match. Adam Page versus Pac.
This one is tricky because Pac's already done a job. I can't see him doing two. At least especially this close together.
Yeah.
Man, WWE really fucked his head up.
Yeah, but can you put Page in that match that he had for the title and then make him lose at the next pay-per-view? I'm kind of going with Page here because they're sort of building Page, and I think that would be a really big win for him to have to get that kind of a little more momentum back. So I'm going with Hangman Page. Antox agrees with me, so there we go.
For this, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go with Page only because he's the one that's going to be sticking around long term. I don't see Pac being like an ongoing character, put it like that, in the company. He's going to be there, but he's going to be one of those in and out type of guys, I feel like.
I don't know, but I all right. So there we go. 2 for Page. What do we got with Smart over there? What do we do?
I'm going to go ahead and kind of swerve things up a little bit. I think I'm going to get like a double disqualification.
Oh, really?
Like, I'm not rooting for it necessarily, but I feel like they kind of booked themselves into a corner. Because I could see with Pac, I could see them doing a thing where, at the very least, they say that he hasn't been pinned or maybe hasn't been submitted for X amount of time. Because he has an imperfect record they mentioned on commentary, but it's because of a draw. He wasn't beaten. So I feel like they're probably going to run with that for a little while, but like you guys were already saying, you don't want Page to have back-to-back losses. So I feel like we're going to get some kind of fuckery, double disqualification, double count out. People aren't going to love it, but I think that's what we're going to get.
All right. So you're going with fuckery, but there's still a winner even with fuckery.
Yeah. Okay, well, I would go ahead and put it on Page to win if by disqualification or count out or some level of fuckery. I don't think he's going to get a clean win.
Okay. All right. That works for me. All right. Let's go to this tag team match. The Adult Bucks versus Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz. And yes, I meant the Young Bucks, you silly bitches. But yeah, it's the Young Bucks versus Santana and Ortiz. It's just a tag team match. Nothing, no special, no stips, no nothing.
Easy. It's easy.
I'm
easy
saying Santana and Ortiz, right?
Hells yeah, because Inner Circle, they're still a young group. It's too early for them to be losing. The Young Bucks, I'll put it to you like this. The Young Bucks have enough, they're Teflon. They have enough credibility where they can absorb some losses. I'm not saying beat them every week on TV, but I'm saying they're over enough to where I feel like they can bounce back from this loss. Ortiz and Santana still need to be established. You need to get Jericho over as a credible leader. And, like I said, Santana and Ortiz need to get this win.
I totally agree with that. And I think if any match would have fuckery, it could be this one, causing the Inner Circle to come down and start beating the shit out of the Young Bucks. So if any match has fuckery, I think it's going to be this one. But I still think if it goes clean, Santana and Ortiz will win it clean. If it does, if not, I think it's going to go to the Young Bucks just because of fuckery with Inner Circle attacking. Smarkety Smark?
Yeah, I'll go with the worst named tag team ever.
Yeah.
Santana and Ortiz. I refuse to say that name.
Well, I said it as a... Anyway.
Okay. I get it.
Okay. All right.
I am aware that you were doing a bit, sir.
Anyway. All right. Now we got 2 matches left, guys. We got through this fast.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega. This is going to be a non-sanctioned match. This match technically never even happened. So after we watch it, they're going to break out the little Men in Black flashy thing, and we're going to completely forget it happened. Non-sanctioned match. Anything goes. Anything. Who do you got?
Moxley.
I think Kenny Omega is going to eat a good amount of wins in his first few matches. So I totally agree with that. What do you got, Smart?
Yep, I'm going to go ahead and go with Moxley, too. I think it's just like we were talking about, or like I was talking about before, have him have a couple of key losses to kind of set up the whole heel turn that I think he's going to embark on sooner than later.
There you go. So, all right, and let's see. According to Moxley, this is his first U.S. pay-per-view since leaving WWE in April. So, yeah, there we go. Now, Antox is saying he says that is the match that main events. Funny, I was going to ask you guys that, but I think, once again, there's only one thing in that company that's supposed to matter. Call it a prop, call it a piece of fucking tin, call it whatever you want. It's still supposed to be the most, this is supposed to be the achievement you're looking to reach in your company. And I think you need to have this title match go last. You have to. And obviously, I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm talking about the Chris Jericho versus Cody match. I figured we'd just throw that in there, and then we can go ahead. So go ahead, Anthony.
No, I mean, I agree with you in theory, but I'm willing to give them a pass here just because, think about it. Moxley and Omega is being billed as, it's non-sanctioned. This match is going to be so violent that AEW was to absolve themselves from any responsibility. These guys are maniacs. They want to kill each other. It's like, okay, fine, but it's not authorized. It would be kind of silly to, quote unquote, go dark, have a match that technically isn't happening, and then all of a sudden say, okay, the show's back on. Let's have that world title match. So I think just for those circumstances, I'll cut them some slack and have them close out with the non-sanctioned match.
No,
because first
off,
I feel like Jericho and Cody, all due respect, they are not going to top just the insanity of Moxley and Omega.
Yeah, but it's also not it's not like the crowd has to leave for this match. They never said that. This is simply just a non-sanctioned match. I'm going to go I'm going to probably shock you even more. I don't think this match will even co-main event. I think the tag team match is going to be your co-main event. I think this match is going to go on like 4th or 5th, the John Moxley, Kenny Omega. How's that? I don't think it's even going to co-main event.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you? What are your thoughts, Smart?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and cite an outside source here. Spreader of misinformation and outright liar, Dave Meltzer says, I was told Moxley versus Omega because a lights-out match theoretically has to go on after all the regularly scheduled matches are over. Tony Khan is taking from Eddie Graham with this as the type of match that tells fans all-out brawl is coming. But as Seth Rollins has told us, Dave Meltzer is the worst person to ever live, and you can't trust anything he says ever.
Purveyor.
Yeah, I'm actually going to defend old Tuna Melts later because he's getting raked over the coals right now. Some of it was self-inflicted. I'll give we'll get into it, but I think he's been kind of raked over the coals. Some of it's self-inflicted, but not all of it's deserved, in my opinion.
All right. Anyway, so I still don't think I don't care what Dave Meltzer was told. I don't care. I'm still going with mine. I don't think it's even. I get where it should be, but it's not a fucking lights out match. It is called non-sanctioned match. It is not lights out. It is not empty arena match. That's not what they're not going to clear out the arena for this. No. It's simply non-sanctioned. No problem.
You're not saying that like Tony Schiavone's going to follow them around with the flashlight on his camera phone, Josh Matthews style.
Well, I mean, at that point, Josh Matthews should sue for gimmick infringement. But I mean, it's just, I just don't see it. But
no, I just want to. I hope that Josh Matthews has like an iPhone 7, 8, some shit like that, trying to film a show and 15 minutes in, he's already at like 42%. Bro, I gotta charge my phone.
Hey,
we'll be right back.
I have an iPhone 8. I got an iPhone 8. It lasts forever.
He's working on a TNA budget. He has a Nextel with the walkie-talkie from 2004.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let's finish this match. Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes. Singles match for the AEW World Championship. Cody loses. He will not challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. How you don't think that sort of stipulation is going to be the last match, and you don't think the show is going to end with Cody Rhodes somehow standing tall over Chris Jericho, not winning. I didn't say he was going to win, but we'll see what happens. We will see. And I say Jericho keeps the title for the reason we've been giving. You cannot start hot potatoing these things, and especially not to a Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry. You just can't. You just can't.
Especially after that promo, he basically implied that, I'm in management. And he basically implied that he's basically going to take himself out of the equation because he's in management. So I feel like Jericho's going to win.
Yep.
But it's going to be, they're going to do it in a way where Cody gets fucked over somehow to where he has to get a rematch. So he doesn't technically have to live up to the stipulation that he put on himself. Which I think I thought was kind of like, the one nitpick of the promo is I felt like that was like a little bit, we missed a couple of chapters in the story. You know what I mean? I thought that was a little soon to put that type of stipulation on this type of match because it's their first match out of the gate.
Right.
That's something you kind of put on a feud that's been like going on, that's been percolating over like over a several month period. So I thought that was kind of a bit much. But, other than that, promo was fantastic, as we've been saying all night. But I basically think Jericho's going to win, but it's going to be a fuck type finish to where Cody moonwalks his way into a rematch at a later date.
I don't know. I kind of got a feeling Cody's a little busier backstage than he expected to be with all this TV shit, and might be actually taking himself out of the title picture. This could not be bullshit. We may actually see this happen. I don't see where it would be a bad thing. This would actually be a really good fucking thing to do. It would not be a bad thing for the Bucks to do the same goddamn thing at one point. I mean, I know they're not in the title picture right now, but they will be. And I think that wouldn't be a bad thing for them to do, is step out of the title picture and just, have a match here and there. I don't know, man. I'm definitely, I think it's going to be just fine. I think it's a smart thing for Cody to do.
I get that, but this is still a young company. Cody, for all of his flaws all of his flaws, he's still a known commodity. And right now, AEW, I feel like they need all hands on deck right about now. You can't afford to be taking anybody with any type of a name value for your company all out of the equation. Well, so I think it's kind of early to take Cody completely out of the picture.
He's not saying he's going to be out of the picture. He's saying he's going to be out of the title picture, basically, which is fine. Cody should be going out there, losing matches to younger guys and getting them over, which is why I said I believe Cody would lay down for a Sammy Guevara or someone like that. I think he's might just be a little busier backstage than he fucking thought he was going to be. So, I don't know. We'll see. We will definitely fucking see. But yeah, do we all agree that Cody's definitely not getting this title, at least?
Dear God, I hope so. Because if he ends up winning, or at least he ends up winning the title, he's proven that he's learned nothing from what it was that made him quit WWE. Because you can't, kind of bash them for not giving opportunities or only give an opportunity to certain people and then do the exact same thing.
I agree with that. And I mean, they're priding themselves on being different. So, and again, that's one of the reasons I say they can't start hot potatoing this title. That would be, again, WWE-ish. Now, there's a big difference there is WWE has the lineage of their titles that means more than it does in 2019. The fans are smarter. The business has changed. I get all that. But you still have to have lineage, some sort of lineage. And you don't want the first reign of the title to be, 35 days, 60 days? No, that just doesn't look good in my opinion. That's just my opinion, but it just doesn't look good. So are we good on that, guys?
Yeah, I like the fact that we have once again another outlet for wrestling pay-per-views out there. I didn't catch it yet, but MLW did a pay-per-view last Saturday. Mm-hmm. We're getting AEW on a Saturday. Don't know how we're going to handle coverage, but we're definitely going to be watching the show. So there's that. We'll figure it out. Stay tuned to the Facebook page, and we'll keep you updated on what we're going to do with that. As far as the show, do you think what's the over/under? You think they'll be able to keep it under 6 hours?
They better.
Counting the pre-show.
They better, dude. 8 matches. If you got a 5-hour show with, 9 matches or 8 matches. What was that? 8.
Is it 8 pre-show?
8 including the pre-show. You got a fucking timing problem. Take it easy, people. But no, I think it'll be under. I think they need to work on that 3.5 max range, and that's perfect. Perfect right there. You go over 3.5, I think people are just starting to fucking phase out. At 3, people are starting to fucking yawn and phase out. Trust me, we all watch Raw. We know by the end of Raw, it feels like we just ran a fucking marathon sitting in our chair watching Raw.
Oh, wait a minute. I guess the backtrack real quick, because we forgot. We were talking about Cody and Jericho main eventing. We forgot to mention the key component to this match. They're going to have judges.
Oh, I know. I was trying to not be. That's so ridiculous. You're right. This match is judged. Oh, Jesus.
So yeah. Well, yeah.
Wait a minute. You're right. This doesn't change anything for me. It doesn't change anything for me.
But the odds of fuckery are
the odds of fuckery are a little better, but the odds that this match also goes the how is this going to be a 1 hour time limit?
Dude, look, God help us. Jericho's 48, as that video package was lovely enough to point out to us. Cody is good with the right opponent. I'm not saying he's a shit wrestler, but we do not need to see 60 minutes of this match. 20 minutes. 25 tops.
Dude, Jericho is the youngest champion in AEW history, though. I mean, he could go that hour, dude. Sarcasm. Catch it. Total sarcasm. You don't think he can go? You don't think so? You don't think he can do that hour?
At a bar, of course.
At a bar? And I could do the same thing. I could do an hour at a bar like nothing. But,
Yeah. See, you go shot for shot with Jericho. Man, that's the match I want to see.
Oh fuck, no, dude, he's Canadian. Canadians can drink, dude. They've been drinking that Molson since they were kids. No. You don't outdrink a Canadian, and don't ever try to outdrink an Irishman. 2 things right there you don't ever want to try to do. Here's what I say we do. Let's talk. You guys want to? Here, I'll give you guys a quick choice. Want to talk Raw and then take a break, or talk NWA and then take a break? I do want to talk one of the two. I don't have a lot on. I have 4 notes on Raw. That's it. I don't know how much you guys got from Raw, but I don't have that much.
I'll say, because I guess it's a lot to kind of get into with Raw with the NXT, since that was the big takeaway. NWA is the shorter show, so I think we can go through that real quick.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's roll down NWA. And after that, I'm going to take a quick break. We got a little something we're going to get into, and then we'll break down Raw quickly, hopefully, and then get into what little news we got for now, and then we can pick up with whatever news we don't get today. We'll pick it up on Friday, guys. So let's do that. Let's get into the NWA. Man, they're really focusing on this Ricky Starks guy, and I think the guy is dog shit. I want to say that. I want to say that, but
he's starting off hot.
Listen, I love the setup. I love the nostalgia. I love the sound of the ring. I love the commentators. There is way more that I love about this show that I don't. One of the things I don't like, the women's matches for some reason seem like they are in slow motion. I don't understand why, but this match, even with Thunder Rosa, who I know has been around wrestling a long fucking time, it seemed like just a slow match with that, what's her name? Ashley Vox or something like that. Very, very, yep, very, 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 very slow match. The wrestling isn't great. Some of the characters aren't great, but I love this thing. I love the nostalgia show. I can't wait to buy that Retromania wrestling video game that Nick Aldis was shilling out there. I'm getting that. I'm getting that shit. I will get that.
That dude look badass. I ain't even gonna lie.
No, go ahead. What?
I said that look badass. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, it does. And I love playing games. I haven't played in a while, but I'm just trying to think anything else that I enjoyed about the show. I actually liked the last match. I actually like that. The Dawsons are not great. I got to be honest with you. The Dawsons are not that good in the ring. But seeing Kingston Homicide out there is fucking awesome. Seeing the Rock and Roll Express out there, y'all know. The smile. Crazy. You know the smile that put on my face. Actually, my son was there, and I've told my wife and kids the story 1,000 probably times of how I got into wrestling and everything. And my wife has never seen these guys, so I pointed them out, and she's like, "But they're old." I'm like, "They weren't when I was a kid." She's like, but wait, they're still wrestling? And I'm like, "Yeah, they're." And it was at that point I said, "Shit, I'm old too." Oh fuck! But
now, I did take a note of something that I wanted to get you guys' opinion on. And this might be blasphemous because I've shit on this guy a lot over the past couple years.
All right,
but based on the traditional definition of what a babyface in wrestling is supposed to be, is Tim Storm not the best pure babyface in wrestling right now? Just in terms of the literal definition of what a babyface in wrestling is supposed to be.
No, he's depressing and makes me want to put a fucking bullet in my fucking head.
I mean, just like super humble about everything.
No.
Almost Ricky Steamboat-esque.
No, he needs depression medication. That's what he needs. This awful. These promos, these brooding, oh man, I should probably just quit. You know what? Shut the fuck up and quit, you little whining bitch. You're fucking 50 years old. Leave. No one will care. Oh. You're the Sean Spears of NWA at this point. No one will notice. Mitch, you fucking potted plant, you.
Fox, please send your resume to a suicide hotline.
I don't need it. He does. I need to give it. Where is Shaheen's phone number? Shaheen, start that fucking suicide line. Tim Storm is your first caller, I promise you. Okay.
You know, David, I'm going through a lot right now. I lost my NWA title. I don't know. Fucking off yourself, bro. You're 50-something years old. You got nothing left to live for. Jesus Christ. Fuck.
Awful. And where were my silly commercials? There were no silly commercials tonight.
Yeah, no.
That was sad.
Yeah, there was that. So what else was good? I do want to try to talk about what was good. I don't want to talk about Tim Storm because he depresses me in those promos. Lost the title. You lost the title. Butch up, Nancy.
I did enjoy James Storm and Colt Cabana, even though that promo was kind of like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It just seemed like he was just like, look, Colt Cabana in under the right circumstances can be golden. But I don't know. That's something about that promo was just very douchey to me. Very douchebag. I get that they're going for like an old school vibe, and part of it is being kind of like tongue in cheek as an homage to the 80s. But it was something about that promo that he cut on the show that was just very douchebaggy to me.
Maybe the fact that Colt Cabana is not exactly the most charismatic gentleman in the world.
You're not a fan of Are you? Let me ask you this, Box. Mm-hmm. Are you a fan of Colt Cabana's comedy? Because Jim Cornette actually kind of brought that up on commentary. Mm-hmm. The fact that the guy typically he kind of like he actually named it as like a flaw. He kind of plays to the crowd too much with the comedy, but when he wrestles in NWA, he kind of like tones it down and wrestles a more serious style. What do you think of Colt Cabana like overall?
Truthfully, I'd rather see more of the comedy and less serious Colt Cabana. I can't take Colt Boom Boom Cabana seriously when the crowd is chanting Boom Boom. I would rather see him be the comedy guy, to be honest with you. I don't like seeing serious Colt Cabana. I really don't. I just, and again, I'm not shitting on Colt. I don't hate the guy. I don't love the guy. I think he's made a great career for himself. Not ever really hit. I mean, I know he's been in WWF, I believe it was. I know he's been there, a little short stint, but for never really hitting that big time, he's made a great career for himself. I don't hate the guy, but he's a comedy guy. And I don't like serious Colt Cabana. Again, the crowd is chanting "boom boom."
That's you try to have a serious match.
This is what little kids call taking a shit. I mean, Jesus, he took a boom on the rug. Jesus Christ! I mean, you can't do that. I'm sorry. I think he's a little. God, how do I say this nicely? He's kind of washed up, Colt Cabana. I meant to say that nicely, and it just didn't come out right.
What do you think? What do you think, Smart?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
I feel like I can't compete with these hot takes. I'm telling you, these hot takes will keep me warm throughout the winter. I don't think he's washed up, but like we were talking about last week, I would like to see him kind of bring out the Matt Classic persona. I feel like that would definitely hit a lot harder or a lot better with the kind of demographic that he's working for than just kind of his whole promo this week was that he was a main event wrestler, and he's finally okay with being able to say that. It's like, what? Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, listen, and once again, I want to say there's a lot more I'm enjoying about. Believe it or not, I don't care if the wrestling is bad because the matches are short as fuck on this show. I mean, let's see how long these matches were. The first match we get was, the Dawsons, 2 minutes, 10 seconds. The next match we got was 3 minutes, 17 seconds. The next one we got was 4 minutes and 9 seconds. The longest match on the show was the James Storm Colt Cabana match, which was 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Then we had the last match, which was 5 minutes and 40 seconds. But that also included the Rock and Roll Express coming down. So,
So, wait a minute. Was the 4 minute match, was that the 2 out of 3 falls with Stevens and Ricky?
The 4 minute match was where was that? Yes, that was the 2 out of 3 falls match. 4 minutes.
And, I'm sorry to cut you off, Smart. We're going to get back to Colt Cabana real quick. But, real quick, I had to mention, Aaron Stevens is really starting to grow on me again.
He should.
He really is, man. Like, he's starting to kind of like recapture like that WWE charisma. Not so much because the TNA run had left a bad taste in my mouth because it just was all wrong, off.
Mm.
But whatever he had in WWE towards the end, especially with that run with Miz with the stunt double gimmick, I feel like this is almost like a continuation of it.
Well,
and I love the fact that he's kind of like paying homage to that character without actually like being overbearing with it, obnoxious. He still comes out. He comes out with the robe and the towel. Don't look at me. And replaced the silence and you're welcome.
Yeah, but did you notice that last week he actually asked Ricky Starks if you want to be his stunt double? Did you catch that reference?
Yeah.
Mrs. Stunt Double. You want to be my stunt double? And the crowd got it. But look, he's a brilliant guy when it comes to the improv and stuff. And I like the way. And by the way, what was with the guy Smark?
Yes.
What was with Santa dressed in the Tennessee outfit?
Thank God. I've been mentioning this motherfucker for 2 weeks. Ever since I started coming on here, and nobody sees him, and I was starting to think this was on some Great Gazoo kind of shit. And I was so happy, so delighted that he was a prominent feature in this show. He got more time on TV than anybody wrestling on that episode.
Couple of dum-dums.
Fucking God.
Yeah, dude. And he was right in Aaron Stevens' face, and Aaron Stevens just goes with it. He just goes with it. He's very good at flowing with the crowd, making the crowd feel like they're a complete part of the show. But that guy was just totally into everything. And man, he's got his Tennessee Santa hat on. He looks like Santa. He's got the jacket. He is orange and white all the way, man.
That is right.
Yeah, that dude, he embraced. He took Jim Ross's advice literally. He maximized his minutes. He was holding on to Aaron Stevens like he was holding on to a titty, like for dear life.
Yeah, he's sitting. And I love that he's sitting behind him, going, He pinned you already. That was one. That was one. Do you know that was one? And Aaron Stevens starts going quietly, no. And the guy starts chanting, yes. And the whole crowd was with him. I hope he's there every week. I hope he's a fucking definite, lifer at this shit, man.
I think he's going to be, because I'm starting to wonder if he's just like always in attendance, because it's been 5 episodes now. So I wonder how many of those were actually taped for one crowd and how many the new batch is starting to shuffle in. Yeah,
I have not caught him until this week. He was obviously incredibly prominent. You could see him without a problem. And that's what made me.
Can we briefly touch on an elephant in the room here? What in the world was up with Aaron Stevens' tights?
Yeah, the flesh color tights are
the most unsettling thing I've ever. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my phone for a minute, and I looked up, and I thought he was butt-ass naked. Like, I was like, why is he wrestling naked?
I don't know. Even Cornette was bringing it up, like, I don't know. And what's his name? Joe Galley. They were both bringing it up, like, tights are a little odd tonight. And Jim Cornette's like, maybe he forgot his gear. I don't know. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. Oh, sorry.
Mark, help me out. What's the guy he was wrestling? What's his name again?
Ricky Starks, the 20 pounds of generic in a 5-pound bag.
What was his nickname? Because Cornette, I should have made a note of it. Cornette felt uncomfortable calling him that. It was some kind of dick reference.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember here. I'm gonna have to do a quick Google search.
I don't know. Cornette is pretty filthy on this show with his references. I love some of them, but every now and then I just go, damn, Jim.
There was a point during the Thunder Rosa match where he said that her looks would make a sex offender reform. I don't know what that was about, but that's like, wow, you have some real heat with her, huh?
Wow.
Thank you, Antox. The name I was looking for was Stroke Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, this kid is... that kid is so generic.
Did he steal that nickname from Bret Hart?
Jesus. I thought I was stiff on this show.
Man, that's a pretty bad joke there.
God damn it, man. Like, I don't know.
What are you trying to say? Bell's palsy, basically a stroke.
Jesus Christ.
Stroke daddy. Stroke daddy.
I swear, Kevin Nash opened up a can of worms with these, some of these nicknames. We've gone from Big Sexy to the Dirty Daddy to Stroke Daddy. Like, what, like, Jesus
to the King of Dong style.
That's right.
Which we will definitely get into, but we will at least get into that before we end this show. But
there was one more thing that he, just to continue endlessly piling on praise to Stevens, which my favorite part of NWA so far.
True.
He quoted Shakespeare in his promo, and then he got angry at the crowd for booing Shakespeare, which opens up a whole can. But like, the thing is like, I just want to say, like, by comparison, the librarians, like, their whole gimmick is literacy. And like, the only time I've ever heard him cut a promo, they just did the basic,
You're gone, Smark. We lost you for a second there, buddy. Right in the middle of a Smark rant, we lose him. Anthony, you still there?
I'm sorry.
Okay, I got 1 out of 2. All right. Smark, hold that thought if you can hear me. I think you can, because I don't know what happened. I don't know if you busted out your mic or what. But anyway, we'll see you back here in a couple of minutes. You know what, Anthony, do you have any more in NWA?
No, I think it continues to be the most productive hour of television or streaming that I watch every week. It really flies by. This week's episode wasn't necessarily the greatest, but it still flew by. Enjoyed us. Aaron Stevens felt like he was the true highlight. Number 2 being Colt Cabana, Boom Boom, and James Storm in terms of match. In terms of best match of the night.
Yeah. And again, I don't care that the wrestling isn't that great on this. I know I've shit on the women's match 2 weeks in a row. One thing I will not shit on is Marty Bell's ass. Jesus Christ, that is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful thing. But I know talk about Shakespeare, exactly. But you know, the Skype with no sold smark. The wrestling needs improvement. I get it, but once again, the nostalgia, the show itself, the overall show for me is fucking awesome. And Antox, by the way, told Smark that that would be Bret the Stroke Man Hart.
That's right. Jesus
That's right.
Christ.
Man, Smark, right in the middle of a fucking rant, Skype just said, no, you cannot fucking say that. You cannot say that. And yes, Antox, Allison K's ass, that was looking wonderful in those pants. And even Thunder Rosa's got a nice little, kind of like a little Bailey booty there. But
she actually, when she wears tights, it's a lot more pronounced.
Yeah.
She was wearing the long pants this time. She usually wears like the kind of shorter, the booty shorts on the indies.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Much more appreciative. Smark, do you remember where you were, what you were saying? You remember?
Yeah, well, it wasn't anything too long. I'm going to try this again. What I was saying was that he used a literary reference in his promo. You talked about Shakespeare. The Librarians, their whole gimmick is literacy. They cut a promo, and all they did on the promo they did on AEW Dark a couple weeks ago was just the basic, your local sports team lost. It's like he's doing their gimmick better than they're doing their gimmick.
Aaron Stevens is great, man. And let's face it, the guy was great as Damien Sandow. He got himself over, despite the fact I don't think WWE wanted him to be the one getting over. I think they were trying to get The Miz over more, and he got himself over. And then one day we wake up and Aaron Stevens, a.k.a. Damien Sandow, has been released. What? I still would like to know. I would love to really know what happened in that situation. Something had to happen. I don't think he was just part of the casualties of a, bus flip, to steal a term. I don't think he was just part of the casualties. I think something happened with him because there was only a few people gone that day. And, I mean, he was super over just like 2 days before. Next thing you know, bye-bye. I mean, that shit made fucking news. So
now, do you think it was something as simple as, because obviously he has a lot of creative freedom, and since he's left WWE or got fired, we've seen him have creative freedom in Impact. Obviously, creative freedom here in NWA. Do you think it's something as simple as maybe he was a little too pushy with some of his ideas? Because he strikes me as a guy, he strikes me as a good guy. I haven't not heard a bad thing about him, but based on what I've been seeing from him in NWA, he takes a lot of care with his promos. He puts a lot of effort. He puts a lot of himself into these promos, these interviews. It could have been something as simple as, fucking, we're tired of this guy not bitching, but all of these ideas coming to us. Let me do this. How about that? It could be something as simple as that.
Yeah, God forbid anyone have, fresh, bright ideas and actually try to get them over. That would be almost doing their job.
Yeah.
But God forbid you do that in WWE. Anyway, I said we were going to go to break real quick. Trust me, there's a reason I'm doing this. We got a little surprise for you when we come back. Going to go to break real quick, and then we shall return. So we will see you guys in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. See you. All right, we are back. Appreciate everybody sticking with us for that break. We are back. You've got Anthony, you've got Smark, and we've got a little surprise for you. Throwback time. I've got Shaheen here. What is up, Shaheen?
What up, man?
Same shit, different fucking Wednesday, man.
I hear you, man. Got fucking, I forgot we're technically on Thursday now.
Not here. Remember, I'm in Central Time.
Ah, that's right. Yeah,
I got you. I got you there, buddy.
Right.
I got you by a technicality.
That's factually correct.
Yes, it is. But always good to hear from you, Shaheen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Most definitely. And you guys know where to check out Shaheen, nuclearheatshop.com, right? Y'all know already, right? And Wrestling Overdose, right? Yeah, y'all.
Well, I would say the Overdose. I haven't done that show for 3 or 4.
Has it been that long?
It's been it's been like 3 weeks.
Man, you were on Facebook saying how you're about to jump back on a regular schedule.
Yeah, I just can't catch up, man. I mean, if you're on the Patreon, though, I update the Patreon every week, so.
All right, so
for the people that are paying.
Just join the Patreon. Forget Apple and all that. Just join the Patreon, everybody.
Wrestling overdoses on that JCast schedule right now.
No, wrestling fucking overdosed on wrestling.
Well, that's why we call you you're the hardest working man in the art industry today, Shaheen, and we call you that for a reason, sir.
Dude, I predicted this shit. I said they were going to give too much wrestling and people were going to burn the fuck out. That's what happened to me. I tuned in for 2 weeks and I was like, yo, fuck this shit. Too much.
You had an epiphany and it came true. Jesus, Shaheen Dradamas over here. Jesus Christ. Jesus, everybody's muted. What the hell happened there? Did I hit?
I thought I was going to have another Skype problem, so I went ahead and just got preemptive on it.
Oh, I thought I hit something and muted everybody. But, good shit, man. But, anyway, Shaheen, you've been up to a lot, obviously.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it on, shit, see, I would say I talked about it on my show, but again, I think it was only on the Patreon. So I don't know. But I got into the Cornette thing, so the Cornette thing is almost done. Not quite finished.
All right.
But you guys can stop tagging me in, fuck Jim Cornette shirts and
he knows
me out. It's not.
No, he knows. He knows everybody. He knows what's going on. Leave him alone.
Yeah, I know. I know what's happening.
He's hip to it. Dude,
it's funny. You guys were talking about Costco earlier.
Wow.
It's really weird. Really, really weird. I just did a design that's going to be out in Costco in like 3 weeks. So it's fucking weird.
See, I told y'all not to be shitting on Costco. Anywhere you can get a hot dog and a drink. I can't
say the name of the company yet, but in 3 weeks I'll announce it and I'll take a picture with the merchandise in Costco.
Awesome.
But
awesome. Yeah. See, I told y'all not to be shitting on fucking Costco.
Too, and it's not steroids. I did something for GNC, which is weird.
Oh, sweet, man. Definitely
Who
nice.
the fuck is watching New Japan Wrestling? What are you guys doing?
Who did you? Oh, that's Smart. Just put that on.
Oh,
I was
damn,
like,
Skype stepped it up, man. I'm confused right now.
I know. Usually, my system would have locked the fuck up by now.
Well, that's because you were also on throwback internet,
No, they've been out here, dude. Did you not listen to that Friday show where 9 times the fucking internet cut out on me?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they've been here fixing this shit for they're still fixing it because they haven't called us and told us the work order's done yet. So they're still fixing my internet.
You guys are doing marathon shows, man. You were asking me if I remember if I listened to the last show.
I know, man. Every week you should hear us, dude. We're gonna slow it down. That's it. We got to cut this down. Next thing you know, I'm like, Anthony, we're in 3 hours. Smart, we should probably get out of here. All right.
It's an actual part-time job for you guys now.
I know.
Like 12 hours a week. Man.
I know. It's ridiculous. Wrestling is a fucking part-time job for everybody right now, which is why you're a smart man, not just to do the Patreon. So
on the other hand, I put out like 12 minutes a week that you can check out on the Patreon if you want.
Awesome, dude. You must be exhausted. After all that talking.
I'm fucking dead, man. I got StarCast coming up on Friday. So if you're in Baltimore, definitely stop by. You remember Shinblade from In Your Head?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, so Shinblade is actually helping me out at StarCast. So shout out to that dude.
Nice.
He's helping me out. And big shout out to Jeff Lippman from Solid Monsters page. I'm actually staying at his house, so he was kind enough to give me a spot in Baltimore to stay with. And he was my lawyer with Jim Cornette, so big shout out to him, man. He's helped me out a lot.
Very nice, man. Always good to have always good to have friends out there.
Yeah, man. A lot of random people have, fucking just been reaching out and helping. I mean, Rob and Chris from SCE, they helped me out big fucking time. I don't even want to get into it in case they don't want people to know, but they helped me out big time with my dog surgery. So big shout out to those dudes. A lot of people came through, man.
Nice.
Weebs hit me up. Shout out to Weebs.
Nice, man. And I see your dogs.
Yeah, I got StarCast, so if you're in town, stop by. I got a fucking I'm coming with like 1,000 fucking posters, so new shit. Got some great Muda stuff. Sting. I think Sting's gonna be in the fucking Ray White and Blue fucking paint. So
and I gotta say, I've kind of missed the dog snoring in the background.
Yeah, well, he got the surgery now, so he's like he's knotted because he's fucking on heavy meds. So he's done for right now.
Dead to the world. I can hear him snoring in the background. The old sounds. The old sounds.
Yes, OG man.
So you're at StarCast?
Yeah, I'm at StarCast this week.
Nice.
And then next weekend, I got the big event. I got Road Warrior Anima on my table, thanks to Gimmicks Tree Entertainment. So shout out to him. Charlie over there helped me out with that. We got Steve Carino coming with us. We got Masada and Michael Elgin. So that's next weekend in New York City. And then the following weekend, doing something with RF with Chono at the fucking at the Fan Fest. Anthony, what is it called? The Collectors Fest? Icons?
Yeah. Icons of Pro Wrestling.
There you go. So the next 3 weekends, you can check me out on conventions from Baltimore to fucking New York to Philadelphia. And then after that, we got Cage of Death. So
nice. And then going into December, you got Mr. Flair, I believe?
Yeah, I got Flair December 7th.
That's right. In Queens, New York,
New York
correct?
City. Yeah. New York City. Shout out to Jack Sabbath, Pro Wrestling Universe. It'll be there if you want to stop by. Got some exclusive shit over there. And then Black Friday, man. I can't announce it yet. I mean, you guys obviously already know, but I'm going to be making a big announcement. Black Friday, I'm launching something brand new. And it's something I've been working on for quite some time now, man. That's why I've been dying. So
nice,
you guys will know soon enough. Black Friday.
The hardest working man in the artist industry today. Maybe in the wrestling industry today.
Dude, I think I'm injuring myself more and more by working so hard than wrestlers actually taking bumps. We're dead ass serious.
Oh, it's hard to live on 2 hours sleep, man. You gotta switch the schedule up a little bit, dude. You work for yourself. You need to remember that.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I sleep when I die.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to do that too early, sir.
Hashtag wrestling overdose. Plenty of wrestlers sleeping nowadays.
Do we need to start that suicide hotline for you, Shaheen? I mean, you and Tim Storm are going to be the first 2 callers, I think.
Tim Storm will be long gone by the time I start that.
Oh, Jesus. So, like,
isn't his mom like 92 or some shit?
I don't know. So let's expect Shaheen to start this lineup, next week? Next 2 weeks? What?
Saying the next 6 weeks. That might be the Thanksgiving Black Friday announcement that I'm making.
You're gonna kill Tim Storm?
You're gonna kill Tim Storm?
Yeah, dude, I could have like a 90s, like a WCW theme for it, like Suicide Hotline.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking mullets and shit with Sting, like air guitaring with Hulk Hogan.
No.
Fucking pills in the background, you know? So
I think this may be a little bit of a kind of a 180 from where you're supposed to go with these. I mean, maybe not.
I called in to plug something and make wrestling friends, and then here I am saying wrestlers are overdosing.
Just one. Only one. Well, we're just talking about Tim Storm, so it's fine, dude. Don't worry about it.
No. The funny thing is, like, Tim Storm might be one of those old school guys Shaheen will meet one day. Like, hey, you pretty cool. I shit on you a lot, but I actually kind of like you.
It's the weirdest thing, man. Everybody I seem to have beef with, I kind of work with now. So, I just stopped talking shit on people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
You'll be on here in 2 weeks. Like, yeah, Tim Storm, my boy, man. I love that fucking guy. He was at Legends Fest. I gave me a big hug. He bought my heart. I love that fucking guy, man. I love him. Fucking love him.
Dude, Dominic DeNucci is still my favorite guy I've met. Hands down. That man, I need to see him one more time before, he's on the other side.
Oh, Jesus, Shaheen. You know what happens when we mention people dying. Stop it.
Wow. I figured it's a new show. I figured that
No, the curse doesn't go away.
Well, we haven't tried it out yet. We're trying it out right now.
All right.
Tell you next week.
Yeah, great. Just
ask Shane Douglas if Dominic DeNucci's around next week.
Just what I did on my conscience.
Yeah. Dominic DeNucci and Larry Sabisco. 2 people that I never thought in my wildest dreams he would bond with.
What, dude? Man, if you told me 6 months ago I was going to be working with fucking Conrad Thompson and I would be on the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show on a Monday, I would tell you to go fuck yourself.
You have numerous times.
Yeah, it happened. I was on Don Tony and Kevin Castle last week.
I just mean you have told me numerous times to go fuck myself.
Oh, yeah, I say that to a lot of people.
He says it with love. All the time.
I do say it with love, yeah.
I mean, listen, sometimes he starts off sentences with "suck my dick." It's just great. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but it's Philly shit, dude. What do you want?
Of course, when you send, when you send us a cease and desist over Facebook, that's what's going to happen. But anyway,
when you're from Philly, you got to tell people to suck your dick from behind.
Absolutely. I get it now. It just took me a while to get that figured out. But Jesus Christ, this show took a turn.
Wrong turn forever.
Absolutely. We're gonna have to call the show U-turn.
That's what I do. A car crash.
Oh man.
You know?
I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure out what Smart is watching here.
Shane, are you working the Full Gear show at all? You want to see that? Any thoughts on it?
I have ticket for it, but I think I'm literally just gonna bounce as soon as Starcast is over. It's crazy how much I don't give a shit about wrestling at all anymore, man.
Dude, sometimes the best seat's right in your house. Of course.
Dude, I went to a house show with Brett Lauderdale, the owner of GCW. He had some like front row tickets and shit. So he hit me up, and he was like, "Dude, are you around tonight?" I was like, "Yeah. Well, what's up? Do you want to go to a WWE show?" I was like, "Not really. No, I don't." Well, it's front row and it's free. Do you want to go? I was like, "Well, fuck it, dude. Let's just go." And I went there, and I just realized, like, after I left the show, I was like, "Holy shit!" I sat front row and I watched nothing. I literally watched I was on my phone the whole fucking time. That's when I realized I was like, "Dude, I am completely checked out. I didn't even know what happened." It was like a fucking daze. I just like woke up and I'm like, oh shit, it's over? Damn, that's it? I just went home.
You're an artist now. You're not a wrestling fan. You're an artiste.
I've always been an artist.
Even more now though, sir.
No, man, it's honestly, I don't want to sound like that bitter fucking person, but the more wrestlers you deal with, like on an actual like financial basis where you have to deal with, you know, getting paid and shit from them, I can totally understand why CM Punk just hates everything. With wrestling. I was telling Joe Numbers this like a couple weeks. I was like, dude, anybody that shits on CM Punk, like if you've ever made $1 in wrestling, you should get it. You know? Like it's just, it makes you hate it. I don't care how much you love wrestling, dude. As soon as like you have to put up your own money for it and hunt promoters down to get your money back and shit, after a while it's like, you know what, fuck this shit. I hate this shit. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I love all of you, so check out nuclearheatshop.com. But I hate wrestling.
Hey, I hate this shit, but I love all of you.
Well, they support me, you know.
Look at that. You're on DT 1 week, and you're already copying of that. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, I've been switched over to with love.
These chat room bunch of cocksuckers. I say that with love. What the fuck are we watching, by the way? This dude is having a seizure in the goddamn ring. Call a fucking ambulance.
Is that Shayna Baszler?
Jesus.
Also, I love how we're on the air. We're just talking about shit that like 4 people can see.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I know this is great podcasting, folks, but
dude, Shayna Baszler totally looks like the heel from fucking the Goonies. Tell me they're not related, dude.
What?
Somebody looks like they fucking chewed her head out and just spit it right out.
Baby Ruth?
I'm just saying, man. I didn't realize how many times she's been punched in the forehead until that face-to-face with Becky Lynch. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, she's definitely a certified MMA person because that dome is cauliflowered all over, you know?
There's a reason she hates penis. But anyway.
A penis hates her.
Well, that's kind of where I was going. Anyway, Sheen, do you want to stick around and talk Raw, or you probably haven't watched?
Anything about Raw. I'll stick around, but my penis just crawled inside me. Speaking of Shayna Baszler, so.
All right. Well,
if I gotta rely on,
I don't.
I feel like I got to get surgery now to get it out, man. I was so turned off by talking about Shayna Baszler. So my girlfriend's gonna be very mad about my appearance on this show tonight.
I apologize. Well, you brought her up, not me, so I'm not apologizing actually.
Well, Smark is fucking playing this Shayna Baszler New Japan match that I didn't know happened.
That poor guy was having a seizure. I hope they called an ambulance by now. He turned it off because we were getting distracted, obviously.
By the way, do you think there was some kind of conflict when Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler were faced? Like, who was the real man here? That's all I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, yeah, she calls herself the man. Well, I'm looking at the two. I'm going with Shayna. That's the man right there.
I think they would both be wearing a strap on, is all I'm saying.
I don't think Shayna needs one. I think she has a sack.
Wow.
Dang. Christmas is right around the corner, man. She's carrying a big bag, you know? Big sack.
So you guys are really hurting my potential at being brought on the WWE podcast.
I don't think I'm ever going to be on anything WWE anytime soon.
I do actually have the audio to that, which we will probably play during this Raw mini review. I've only got 4 little notes on Raw. Jesus, now we got to deal with this Shayna thing. Jesus, you're going to get us kicked off fucking iTunes for being insensitive non-SJWs. Okay.
Well, just for old time's sake, iTunes suck my dick.
Yes.
Definitely kicked off.
Yes. There we go.
All right, I'll let you guys do your thing. But, yeah, StarCast, if you're around in Baltimore this weekend, come check me out. If not, New York City next weekend. Big event after that, Icons of Pro Wrestling. First time Chono's coming to the States in like fucking 15, 20 years or some shit, dude. So
really?
You're in Philly. Yeah, dude. Chono's been fucking flying his ass out from Japan. He's here.
He's here. He'll be here.
Yeah, I'm doing a fucking t-shirt for this motherfucker, so.
Awesome, man.
Here.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got Muda this weekend, got Chono in a couple weeks. Yeah, so if you're in the area, please check those guys out.
Yeah.
And all the way to December, once again, Ric Flair in fucking Queens. If you're in New York, go check out Shaheen with Ric Flair. That's all I'm saying.
One last question. With the amount of Rock and Roll Express on television nowadays.
Loving it.
Are you able to still squeeze some out? Or do you just get that excited throughout the week where you just dry up?
Good thing is I haven't needed to. You know, the wife just had a baby, so that's, you know.
I know you don't need to. Rock and Roll Express is around.
6 weeks immediately right there. You can't do anything. But I'm
wow, dude, that's perfect time. In 6 weeks, you can't do nothing, and that's the 6 weeks Rock and Roll Express comes around on your television.
So, you know.
Some people use porn. Boxman uses Rock and Roll Express matches to get ready.
He definitely doesn't use dirty socks, man. He's definitely got one of those 80s fucking Rock and Roll Express towels they used to throw out in the crowd. He's like caught it when he was like 12 years old. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a wrestling fan now. Jerk off to it one day.
I am enjoying the Rock and Roll Express, but not as much as you think I am.
Come on, man. You've jerked off a couple times this week to NWA. Come on.
No, I'm not taking back. Oh well, Marty Bell's ass I might jerk off to. To be honest with you, that's worth that might be worth a droppage, but no, it is good to see him back on TV though. Even though I'm not crazy about all the old guys, just something about Rock and Roll Express being on NWA, man.
That's another dude, man. I met him at WrestleCon and he became our best friend for the weekend.
Tell me, man.
Fucking Ricky Morton. I remember telling you guys about this story. This motherfucker came around and punched me in the gut for no reason.
Well, because he knew he had better hair than you.
Well, I don't have any hair at all.
Meaning he has better hair than you.
Well,
dude, this guy's rocking a mullet still and he's in his 60s. Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's subjective. I think anybody with a mullet immediately loses with hair or not.
Anyone with a mullet immediately.
Brian Pillman. Dude, Brian Pillman Jr. is fucking killing it with the mullet.
Exactly.
Ricky Morton.
Killing it, dude. Dude, he can't lose it, man. That would be like... That'd be like fucking Robert Gibson getting his eyes fixed. You can't do that.
And dude, the resemblances are like scary to me. Like Benoit's kid, Pillman's kid. The resemblances are fucking scary with some of these people.
Davey Boy Smith.
Yeah, Pillman's kid is really looks. He
looks like a young Pillman.
He's got the same everything. I mean, he is like a mini Pillman, dude. Not even mini. He's like just a junior Pillman is what he is. So
only difference is like the goatee and the beard.
Yeah. But that one's creepy. And Benoit's son just has those eyes. I haven't seen him enough to know if he has the little arms. I'm not sure if he has, ass wiping problems or not.
Well,
That I
they've
don't
seen
know.
some shit, dude.
Literally.
I don't know if he has.
Imagine how many bags you'd have under your eyes if your last name was Benoit.
Yeah.
A lot of sleepless nights, dude.
Yeah, that's probably a few nightmares. I would guess that. But let's get into Raw because we're coming up on 3 hours soon.
All right, well, I'm going to hop off, but you guys have a fun show.
All right,
you guys
Shaheen.
talked about Benoit so much, I'm going to go fucking dive off the top rope and headbutt myself and Benoit myself.
All right, do not go lift weights right now if you're on a Benoit kick. Don't go lift weights. But appreciate
I'll go the Somo route.
There you go. Appreciate you coming on, man. You know you're welcome anytime to come on here and plug anything.
Yeah, I would come over more. I just don't watch wrestling. That's the reason there's been no show the last couple weeks. But I'll be watching some wrestling this weekend. So
all right.
But yeah, check out the Patreon. I update that shit on there.
There you go. And the Patreon is
Patreon.com/Wrestling Overdose.
Thank you, sir. All right, Shane.
Peace.
Bro.
Later, bro. Thanks, man. All right, guys. Raw. Let's get into Raw. And then probably end up saving news for Friday. It's only 2 days. I don't think anything is going to, go bad. So Raw.
Yeah. I like the fact that Raw had a theme to it with the NXT follow up. So what did you like? What did you guys think of overall? Like, what do you think about the NXT involvement on the main roster? Because that was the basically overall theme of Raw. They did the little side deal with Brock and Ray as like a sub storyline, but the main story was NXT taking over and Seth Rollins' crisis of conscience. Will he stay? Will he go? What do you guys think? What are you guys thinking about NXT on the main roster?
I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I have a feeling their hands are a little tied when it comes to what the NXT guys can do. But I think for what little, I'm not saying they're doing little, but for what they're doing on the show, I think it's very memorable, and I think what they're doing is really good. Believe it or not, I was so... And it's funny you mentioned the Seth Rollins thing. Seth Rollins with another woe is me, I lost the title promo, and then I was never so happy to see Triple H fucking interrupt a promo in my life. Because I just did not need another Seth Rollins. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to come back. I'm going to win the title. I know you are, Seth. I know.
You talk about Debbie Downer. I mean, like... talking about Tim Storm. This dude was talking about, I was talking about, I wanted to create change. I wanted to get Brock out of the way so that guys like, guys like Baron Corbin. Box, did a little part of you die when he referenced Baron Corbin in a promo about giving a guy like Baron Corbin an opportunity to shine on Raw, step up?
I don't think I heard that. I think I think my gun barrel hit my tooth at that time. And I think I missed that part.
I meant to reach out to you when I heard that line. I'm like, yeah, Box is probably, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I think the gun barrel hit my tooth because I was about to blow my head off.
I'm surprised you made it through Raw with that whole, after that Baron Corbin comment.
See, again, I watched, again, I had to do the Hulu version. I just can't. Dude, I'm trying to do the 3 hour, the live, but I just can't do it, bro. I just can't fucking do it.
I'll be honest, it's background noise to me at this point. I kind of like put it on and just have something else. I'm always doing something else because I'm like you now. Like I can't sit and focus on it unless it's like a good match. Like for example, was the women's match? Did that make it to the Hulu version?
Which one?
The tag team match, Natty and Charlotte.
Yeah, it did.
And like something like I enjoy. I mean, even though I do think they kind of sacrificed the Kabuki Warriors a little bit. Sure.
Hulk, come. Oh, sorry.
I mean, yeah, they did kind of make them look a little bad in that situation.
And they've been doing it to the Kabuki Warriors. I don't quite get it. I mean, last week they did this whole big, thing where they got rid of their manager and then they fucking lose clean. Just was a little ridiculous to me. But that match did make it. I mean, of course, the only thing I got out of that match was, Jesus Christ, look at Charlotte's tits. But
same thing you get out of Charlotte.
That's pretty much the same thing I get. That's really it. They're just so they're so big and so beautiful and prominent and I mean, literally, her outfit sticks out because her boobs are so big it doesn't even touch her stomach, which is just beautiful to me. Just beautiful.
Now, I segued into that real quick because I wanted to get Smark's thoughts on the. I don't know if you watched all of Raw, but Smark, if you caught the women's, did you catch the tribute to the women's match from Saudi Arabia? And what do you think about this whole propaganda deal? Like, do you think that it's a good thing, bad thing? Like, what do you think about this?
To be honest, I fast forwarded through the propaganda portion of that, just because like they can run the victory lap if they want to, but I don't have to be here for it. Like, it's a moment of my life that I wouldn't have gotten back, and I could have done, like, stared at my shoes for a couple minutes. One thing I will say that my favorite part of Raw, I feel like that was the best match, but my favorite part of Raw was, I forget which one, but Natty got one of the Kabuki Warriors up and a scoop slam, but she started spinning around with her while she had
Kerry Sane. It was Kerry Sane.
And the entire time she was spinning around, she was just going, ah! I have no idea why the fuck she decided to do that, but it was a great choice.
Because Natty is a crazy cat lady.
I just love how she sold her move better than Kerry did.
Well, I don't know. And I'm trying to be.
And we got no mist in this. I was disappointed. No. They've been pretty good with giving us the mist, and I'll be honest, man. Heel Asuka, very hot, very very hot, bro.
Hulk, come. I'm telling you, it looks like Hulk came all over her face. I don't know why they think that makeup looks good. I still don't know why they think Bayley's makeup looks good with those fucking weird little points coming out on her nose with the eye makeup. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with nothing. I do have to say, though, I didn't ever think I would say this because I wasn't a fan of Rey Mysterio going against like Batista and Big Show and all the big guys, but I'm enjoying this Brock Ray thing, this Rey Mysterio Brock Lesnar feud.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see. Like I said, I've been beating a dead horse with how Ray's been treated over the past, basically since he came back full time, basically almost like a job guy, which is just sad. Like, putting this guy over as a greatest mass wrestler in the history of the business, but yet you treat him like shit on TV. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, look, the end game here is he's going to get destroyed at Survivor Series. I mean, we already know this,
right?
But the past couple of weeks, I've liked how they've given him like something to work with. They've given him something to sink his teeth into, and dare I say that was probably the greatest Rey Mysterio promo in the history of his career. From the standpoint of, it was believable that this guy was pissed off. He was fighting for his son, and it was, I don't know. I almost want to say he wrote that himself because it felt like it was no stuttering. It was no. You didn't feel like he was reading off of a script. It felt very organic. You would have felt like Brock really was fucking with this guy's family, legit. And kudos to Brock because I gotta say, before Ray beat the hell out of him with the I think it was a lead pipe,
baseball bat.
Baseball bat. Thank you. When he's on the warpath, right, and the first guy he catches at the table, and he just starts choking the shit out of and he's banging his head, dude. It's not quite him beating the shit out of Zach Gowen, but that was, I don't know why, that was fucking hilarious to me. Like, whenever Brock is on the warpath, I love it.
Yeah, and Dio Madden. What does he have, a fucking death wish?
Dude, that was, I mean,
No,
when he stood, I didn't know the dude was that big.
Well,
do you think they should have gave him a little something because a dude that big getting bitched out? I mean, they did it to Braun, I get it, but that was kind of like, yeah.
No, he's an announcer. Now, I do have a question, and I know Smart is more on the, watching shows that we haven't. Was Dio Madden a wrestler, or was he hired as an announcer? Does anyone know? I don't know much about the guy, and I know I probably should, but I don't. But when he's standing there and they do that shot of those three guys, he is a fucking mountain of a fucking man.
He had to be a wrestler at some point. Had to be.
Or, I don't know. Okay, Anton's saying he was a wrestler at one point. Did he kind of get the unfortunate news like Corey Graves where he had to retire, or did they just think he'd be better at this? He's not bad at commentary. I'm not saying that at all, 100%. Actually, I think he's actually pretty good, and more and more week for week, he actually starts talking more and more. Antox is saying he's actually a former defensive end for the Houston Texans. Yep. And he wrestled under Booker T. That doesn't surprise me. Booker T's school is in Houston, I believe.
That's where I saw him before.
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with his career, but just watching clips on YouTube. I think he was teaming. He was either teaming with Stevie Ray or in a match against him for that reality of wrestling.
Okay.
Booker T's promotion.
Right.
And Stevie Ray was like putting him over, like this guy's got a bright future. All right. And I remember it was the dress. So yeah, that's where I saw him before.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if he maybe got injured, needs a break, but he's definitely will have a career after he does decide to do whatever he's going to do. He's not bad on commentary. I got to tell you, I really like this new commentary team. Honestly, I do. Lawler's jokes are still outdated and ridiculous, but that's Lawler. You expect that exact comedy out of Lawler. So I'm fine with it.
Familiar.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I have no issues with it. I like the new commentary team. But all right, so Dio Madden could eventually get in the ring and do something because Antox is saying he's not retired. He didn't get the Corey Graves concussion news. So
he towered over Brock. Though. Did you see when he stepped up to Brock? I was like, damn, because Brock is a big dude and he towered over him.
Yeah, definitely. He did, man. And maybe because he's a football player, he's not catching on as fast as as some people do. So maybe they're doing this and working with him at the same time.
What did you dude? Once again, I got to point out Heyman. I know a lot of people. Heyman's getting kind of like his promos are getting kind of old.
No,
but a couple things tonight from Monday that stood out to me. Mm-hmm. He's got a Jew for a lawyer.
Yeah, I did hear that.
When Heyman is a proud Jew. He's not always an honest one, but he's a proud one. That, and did you catch the line about no one will resuscitate you when you die on live TV?
Yes, again.
What did you think about that one? Think it was a little stiff, or do you think it was in line with something Heyman would say?
You know what? Not towards Jerry Lawler. Not towards him, because that's a comment Lawler would appreciate. He's old school. He's old school. What do you think, Smart? Do you think that was a line that maybe offended Lawler, or do you think that was something Lawler appreciated, the fact that he stayed with it like that?
No, I think it's in line with Heyman. And then, also we were talking about, he's referenced it on commentary quite a few times.
Yeah, now, these two do have heat that is real. I mean, Lawler did break Paul Heyman's jaw for real during that ECW invasion angle. You remember that, right?
That predated that actually. It was
you're right. You're
80s.
Right.
It was actually back in the 80s when Heyman did like a little Memphis loop.
You're right.
Cause he had I forgot what the circumstances. He either no-showed or not even no-show. He didn't want to take a bump or something like that. He basically double-crossed Lawler with some, Heyman being Heyman.
Yeah, but
and Lawler got pissed, and breaking the guy's jaws a bit much, but that's how you handle things back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays you'd be sued. You'd be gone from everywhere. You would be blackballed. But man, whatever happened? You know, I have a song from a band that you probably never heard of called The Collapsing Lungs. And the beginning of it goes, "Whatever happened to the good old days where you could just beat someone up when they pissed you off?" I miss those days. I miss those days.
So Lawler broke Heyman's jaw, and his biggest feud was with Andy Kaufman. The evidence is starting to mount against this guy. Some real problems outside of the other problems of potentially him being a pedophile. Anyways,
we're just talking about there.
He did. Yeah. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs, but I'll diddle the shit out of a 15-year-old girl.
Well, that's why he doesn't drink. Can't take any of his dates out.
She was, Anthony, she was 14, by the way. You're adding a year. I'm sorry. You're adding a year to her.
But could you imagine though taking that high moral ground about I don't smoke or do drugs, but yeah, I don't fuck underage girls either. That's an easy go. That'd be my go-to every time he tried to pull that shit with me.
And I forget who it was, but someone in a shoot interview was defending him. Like, that girl did not look 14.
She was at least 13 and a half.
I forgot who it was, but someone in the interview was like, that girl looked like she was 20. I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, I guess we did mention one more thing from Raw before we get into a little territory we don't want to be going to. I'm going to move on. Let's. I do have the audio from the Becky Lynch, Shayna Baszler thing. It's 4.5 minutes. We'll do our usual. We'll play a little, pause a little, play a little, pause a little. I really like this, and I think the feud between these two could be really fucking good.
I'll be honest, dude. Like, going into the Survivor Series, I'm hoping that NXT comes out of this for the better, because the one thing that kind of I fear, they've gotten so much in the lead up to Survivor Series. It almost makes me feel like they're getting set up to take that, take the fall, take that the ultimate beating at the pay-per-view. Like, that's when Raw and SmackDown gets their revenge. But I really feel like, honestly, like, Bayley feels like a third wheel in a situation. I'm sorry. The money is with Shayna and Becky one-on-one.
Yeah.
And it feels like this is almost like a Ronda situation. Because Becky, if she's going to continue to do the man character, she works better when she has a strong base to play off of. Like a Ronda, like a Shayna. But when you put her against, like, I don't know, when you put her against, like, Bayley, or if you put her against Charlotte, or if you put her against Sasha, it feels it has too much of a wrestling tinge to it. It doesn't have that same unpredictability.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's dealing with a peer. Because, Shayna can be perceived as she's basically an outsider.
Yeah.
Because Ronda was an outsider, it almost felt like a me against the world. I wasn't supposed to be here type of situation.
Right. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I'm really liking this goddamn feud, and I see great potential for it. And I don't know, man, I just see good potential. I know Shayna's not the best in the ring. She's incredibly believable, in my opinion. But she does still need work. But I think against Becky, I think Becky could get a hell of a match out of Shayna. So, anyway, on that note, let's play a little bit of this audio. In the beginning, it starts with Charlie Caruso.
Those lips.
That everything about her. Jesus Christ. She wears great outfits, great tops. She has great choice in tops. And she starts off with that, and then Shayna Baszler comes in, and we'll play a little bit, and then we'll come back, and we'll,
Becky, thank you so much for your time. Becky, what a journey it has been for you as the Raw Women's Champion. And now, in about 3 weeks from today, at Survivor Series, you may just have your toughest test to date. It will be you versus the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley, versus the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler.
My favorite time of year, Survivor Series. Nobody can relax for a second. Everyone is tribal almost. I was watching SmackDown last week. Did you see it? I loved it. Because who knows better than the man what a well-timed takeover can do for your reputation. But this year is different. It's me versus Bayley versus Shayna in a dangerous triangle. Now, normally I'm the one out for retribution, but this year I'm the target.
Target?
Yep.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I beat Bayley's best friend Sasha Banks onto the injured list at Hell in a Cell, and I knocked Shayna's bestie Ronda Rousey into hiding at WrestleMania. So,
Charlie, could you excuse me a second? I'm gonna take your chair. If that's
Real quick before Shayna comes in, the dickheads in the audience chanting "what" when this is obviously a pre-tape. Can those guys be like fucking beaten to a pulp, please? Seriously. A little ridiculous when this is obviously pre-taped and they're still chanting what? Like they're gonna react to it?
Well, you know what that is? That's one thing I'll never forgive Steve Austin for introducing that shit to the wrestling business. But also, in fairness, I feel like WWE kind of has nobody to blame but themselves because, Box, you brought it up earlier with the 20-minute promos that they open the shows up with. Even if you're dealing with a phenomenal talker like a Paul Heyman, listening to anybody talk, regardless of how good they may be, for anything over 5 minutes can be draining. Mm-hmm. So you kind of like you condition people to kind of get to that restless point where they're going to do what? And once again, it goes back to that's the theme of the night for me, balance. You have people take 10 minutes to say what they could do in 2.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah. It's just fucking ridiculous to me. But, alright, let's keep going with this promo a little bit.
okay. Hello, Becky. I've been waiting a long time to meet you face to face. I'm Shayna. I know all about you. Everybody always talks about Becky Lynch and what a shining example she is of the talent that comes from NXT. You know I'm friends with Ronda Rousey. We train together. You beat Ronda at WrestleMania. I want to make something very clear, Becky Lynch. I'm not Ronda Rousey.
Ooh.
And at Survivor Series, I'm not going to take my eyes off of Bayley, but I wanted to come here, eye to eye, champion to champion, and tell you that I am going to pin you or I am going to tap you out.
What?
And the only thing...
I know. I thought she said I was going to pin you or I was going to fuck you. I thought she said I thought she was going there too.
Now, real quick before you hit play again on that Box, that part where I thought that was an interesting little line there. I'm not Ronda Rousey. I want to make that perfectly clear. I feel like I might be giving WWE too much credit on this, but I think that was a little bit of seed planting. Do you picture a scenario where they have Shayna she takes the fall over, she gets one over on Becky, right? And then, like I said, down the line, they'll first introduce Ronda and her buddies on camera. But then, in order to build to the feud, they'll kind of reference back to, I was able to beat the woman that tapped you out, that gave you your first loss. As kind of like a way to kind of like put a little heat on the feud. Because I thought that was a very interesting line. Because as far as we know, they've established that they're friends on camera. That they're...
Yeah. They're not gonna... Shayna's not winning that title. There may be fuckery, but they're Shayna. I could see Ronda coming back and ruining this match. That's how I could see this match ending in a complete DQ. But I don't see Shayna winning. That would benefit. Who would that benefit besides NXT? That's not your A show, dude. So, I don't see that. But anyway. Smark, you got anything?
No, I can't say that I do right now. This is a pretty good segment, though. We're going to keep going with it.
There you go. Play I will hit.
You'll have to think about between now and Survivor Series is which one of your limbs will belong to me.
Aren't you lucky to be face to face with the champ? Now, I don't know you, so I haven't fully decided whether I respect you or whether to slap the head off you. Yet. But I'm glad we got this chance to talk so that you can feel the same doubt that Rhonda felt. Because warring with me will change you, like it did the rest of them. So at Survivor Series, Shayna, I won't be taking my eyes off Bayley either, but I am coming directly for you.
I'm really glad to have met you. Glad we could have this talk.
See you at Survivor Series. Bring your best, because I'll show you who the real baddest woman on the planet is.
Wow. I cannot wait.
All right, there we go. We don't need to go through all that shit. But yeah, believe it or not, I want to watch this match.
Yeah. And by the way, sorry, Box. Sorry about that chat room. Got locked up for a second.
No one here even fucking knew. But yeah, I'm actually, believe it or not, and I'm again, I'm saying this, I'm actually excited to watch this fucking match. That promo actually made me excited to see this match.
Now, do you think, back, what I was saying before I got cut off, do you think that they're building towards possibly, they basically set this up as a triple threat to have Bayley in there to take a fall because they want to say this potentially for another match as a WrestleMania moment, another WrestleMania match, or do you think they want to hold off till Ronda comes back, maybe do another triple threat with those two, with Becky in the middle? Like, cause it seems like this to me is tailor made for a singles feud. I don't really want to see Bayley in the match. I mean, I'm not saying she's going to take away from the match in terms of quality, but that promo was like money. Mm-hmm. And I really feel like adding Bayley, it just seems like it's adding unnecessary forces to a match that don't need it. This is one of those deals where I feel like those two on their own could carry a feud in the ring and on the mic, but I feel like Bayley is there just to be spoiler, just to take the fall for somebody.
Oof, man, that's a pretty convoluted question there.
I know.
Yeah, it's actually a really convoluted question.
To clean it up, basically, do you think that they basically put Bayley in this match to take the fall because they want to save Shayna and Becky for a one-on-one match down the line, possibly at the Rumble, maybe even Mania, if they have enough patience to do so?
Yeah, see, that's where I don't think so, because I think they're gonna do some fuckery in this match, and I mean, Bayley's on this new heel run. They're trying to build her. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that with her. I don't think that's gonna happen. I really think this might be where Ronda comes back, honestly. And I think we're gonna see some a DQ in this match. I do not think this match is gonna go to a finish.
A DQ and a triple threat.
Yep.
I can't wait for the bitching to come out of that then.
Oh, you know it will. They'll do something. But I don't see this match being finished cleanly at all. No way, no how. Nope. It would be a smart idea but I just don't think they want Bayley to lay down right now. Why would you put literally, you're building this new character with Bayley. You're building this whole heel persona. And would it make any sense to have her fucking be the one in the match to eat the pin?
Dude, we're forgetting one very important factor here.
It's WWE.
That and Bailey's on SmackDown. I put it to you like this: Raw's the baby.
True.
Raw's the baby, and NXT's pretty much well protected. So I look at it like Triple H is obviously going to fight for NXT, if for no other reason, not because he cares about the guys and girls on NXT necessarily. He cares about his reputation. And even though, because did you catch like the tweets going back and forth, and Bailey put the little smart ass comment in? He'll forget about you too at some point, like, which I think is kind of a shoot. I mean, I know it was like an in character thing, but I think there was a little truth to that. Because Bailey's been caught in some truth situations this year.
Yeah, that's sort of truth right there.
But it's going to be. But I don't know, man. I feel like this is a two-man race between Raw and NXT. SmackDown always, without fail, gets the short end of the stick when it comes to these brand supremacy type matches that WWE likes to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is going to be this whole situation is going to be weird. It's going to be very interesting. I'm actually looking forward to Survivor Series for the first time in many years because of just the dynamics at play.
Yeah. And
is Vince going to get his way? Is this to kind of like placate Triple H a little bit? Because I don't want to bet against NXT necessarily, but you're going up against Raw. And I can't help but see Vince wanting to prove that his way of doing things is better, even though NXT on its own has been fucking fantastic. I can't help but seeing him wanting to put his stamp on things. Like he'll give him a couple of token getting one over, but at the end, Raw or SmackDown has to come out on top in his eyes because those are his babies.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they work this with NXT involved. So again, I'm with you, man. It's definitely going to be actually want to watch this. I'm not sitting there going, oh, another pay-per-view. No, not another fucking pay-per-view. I'm actually wanting to watch this and see how they work out everything. And the NXT involvement is a great thing. They need they need a good push right now, so they're doing a smart fucking thing. Speaking of smart, what about Smark there? What do you think?
Yeah, about that. Normally, I understand the hesitancy to think that SmackDown or NXT will look good in any way, shape, or form because previous history and all that, but it kind of new elements are at play here because SmackDown and NXT are on USA, or not USA, NXT is on USA, SmackDown is on Fox. So they're going to need to get those ratings up, and they're going to need SmackDown to look good because if they don't look good and those ratings don't go up, they're going to be losing money, and they don't want that. They can't have that. So I think things will be a little bit different. But, I mean, even if you look at Raw from this week, they're basically saying, well, yeah, the SmackDown guys got jumped, but that's just SmackDown. This is Raw, goddammit, pal.
Exactly. So,
God.
Bailey,
I wonder like...
Bailey might be the fall guy here. You're right. Maybe.
Yeah, see, that's why I want a legitimate camera and a legitimate Fox executive room because I gotta wonder sometimes what they think about some of these segments. I mean, do you think like put it to you like this? Because Fox has a lot of money invested in WWE right now, do you think they have a vested interest in like perception? Do you think that they're having like weekly meetings with Vince and WWE? Like, dude, what's going on here? Like. We're checking out Raw here, and you're kind of treating SmackDown like an afterthought. I know it's on a competing network, but why are you treating this show here like an afterthought? And the build up to this thing, you think they're looking that deep into it because they got a lot of money invested, or you think they're like, fuck it, it's wrestling?
And you know what? They're treating both shows like they're supposed to be the flagship shows, which is never going to work. But I mean, they're trying with both shows. I mean, look, the first show they put all the NXT people on was SmackDown. I understand they didn't have much of a choice. I understand that they were in a pinch. But the fact that they allowed all these NXT people to go on is still pretty ballsy of Vince to do. That's something you wouldn't expect him to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And can we point out that the idea of star power in wrestling is slowly dying? Because during the Triple H and Seth Rollins little promo that NXT got involved and we had the big brawl with the WWE guys, I want to point out that Zack Ryder was front and center for that whole deal. And when Zack Ryder is on the front line, who wants some? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, that pretty much tells you all you need to know about the star power situation on the Raw side of things. That was just, and I'm not even trying to shit on Zack Ryder, but that just seemed like bizarre that Zack Ryder was like the first man on the scene. Like, come on, who wants some?
Yeah, and it's funny. I believe one of you guys said that as long as Zack Ryder isn't like the front man for this group, it's okay. And then next thing you know, literally the next week, Zack Ryder is like the man yelling exactly who wants some, come get some. Little weird. But the brawl he's talking about, it started off with Seth Rollins versus Adam Cole, because obviously that got set up during Raw. And the Undisputed Era came out attacking everybody, and then it turned into a huge brawl with the Raw locker room. The NXT locker room came out. And yeah, it did though. Zack Ryder was like the last guy you saw before they went off the air.
Yeah, and even in the middle portion, because I thought it was kind of interesting, because at first I thought they were going to tease something with Rollins, because during the initial promo exchange with him and Triple H, Seth Rollins was the only one that didn't get touched in that brawl.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, you're right. Anton, you didn't like Stone Cold Zack Ryder. Nah, I didn't care much for Stone Cold Zack Ryder. But yeah,
like Zack Ryder, but I don't buy him as a badass. Number one. Number two, given his just current placement on the card, even though, ironically enough, he got super jacked over the past couple of years, and his push is actually going down.
He got super zacked. He's zacked. He's not jacked. He's zacked.
I mean, for a guy that doesn't get much TV time anymore, he's fucking huge now. Jesus.
Well, he has time, Anthony.
But dude, like, could you admit a little bit?
He's got the time.
I put him in that Rusev category, which, did you want to get into that? What did you think about the latest development in the Rusev situation?
I hate this storyline, dude. I just want it to end. I hate it. And you know what? I'm not the only one. A lot of people hate it. It's uncomfortable. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's transparent. And it really... Rusev may be getting over, but he was already over. So really, I don't see how this helps anyone in the long run. Even if Rusev gets Lana back and gets his comeuppance, I just don't see it. I don't see it. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, neither one of them gain anything. The only person that's really gaining right now is Lashley, just because he's actually getting to show off a little bit of personality that I didn't know he had.
Yeah.
So that's one positive I'll take from it. But in terms of Lana and Rusev, I don't know what the contract situation is, but you can definitely tell, like, I get the sense that he is in the contract negotiations. This is just my vibe. He is currently in negotiations. His contract is probably coming up soon. He's probably giving them the vibe that he's not going to be resigning. So this is just one more fuck you on the way out the door, because nobody comes out of this looking good, because you're dealing with a legitimate married couple. You're making him look like a cuck. You're making her, because I put it to you like this. If he takes her back after all of this, he looks like the biggest fucking sap on the planet. And she looks like you just made her look like the biggest whore, biggest hoe on the planet. So either way, who's looking good in this situation? Nobody. Between them two, nobody. You're basically humiliating these people on the way out the door. Because I really feel like this is going to be their swan song. Because I really can't see them sticking around. Rusev has given that vibe online for the past, 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
He gives less than the fuck. He's actively tried to get fired with some of the shit he's put out there. And I think they basically been holding him hostage.
Yeah. Right.
He was the original. Look, Rusev was Luke Harper before Luke Harper was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, Weeble, you got the line. Rusev, I get cooked down, but I get up again. Beautiful. Beautiful, Weeble. Love it. Yeah, dude, this turns out good for no one on this whole angle. And it's awkward. It's strange. It's stupid. It's just not worth it, man, to anybody. And if this is the storyline that Rusev goes out on, oh my God, I apologize. I feel sorry for you. So, I'm sorry. I hope it doesn't. I really do.
He had such promise.
He did.
He went from coming down on a fucking tank at WrestleMania, one of the top 3 greatest WrestleMania entrances of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, bar none, he went from that to this.
Mm-hmm.
In under a 5-year period. That's one of the saddest drop offs in wrestling that I've seen in quite a while, bro.
It is sad, man. It's some sad shit. But I don't know. To me, even with all the NXT involvement on Raw, which all of it was good, Raw was decent. It wasn't great. It was decent. And I did the Hulu version, so the 3-hour version must not have been great at all.
So, what are you guys thinking of Adam Cole's prospects on the main roster? Because when he eventually gets called up or called down, depending on how you want to look at it, because he think about it, in a span of less than a week, he main evented SmackDown, clean win over Daniel Bryan, had a competitive match against Seth Rollins, which, going into it, I knew that was going to be a fuck finish. They're not giving him a win over the Golden Boy right now on Raw. But what did you think? You think that this bodes well for his future on the main roster, or do you think that this is just for the purposes of getting this current storyline over going in the Survivor Series?
I think we're going to get this current story, and then it's going to be status quo again. I think after Survivor Series, this is all over. And
he'll be back to NXT and like it never happened.
Like it never happened. I mean, is that not WWE's MO? I don't mean to be, just, kind of crass about it, but that's how they're going to be. It's going to be this storyline. He's going to get some great comeuppance in here, and then status quo, like it never happened. Back to, after Survivor Series, right back to where we were. This is all just to try to get more eyes on NXT, which I completely understand. I do. I get it. I completely understand it. But it's not going to change anything, in my opinion.
What do you think, Smark? I really feel like Adam Cole, a lot to offer, but it's just, the only thing that's working against him, in my opinion, is his size. Guy can talk. He can work in the ring. Young Shawn Michaels in some respects, minus the dickheadedness. But what do you think, Smart?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to push him. I don't think that he's going to be on the main roster after Survivor Series, but I don't think that's a bad thing, actually. Because I feel like as long as they make him, like I said, what we were talking about last week, it's an opportunity to make some of the NXT people even bigger than they are already. And I feel like if you make Adam Cole look like a star like they've been doing, you put him on NXT, it sort of legitimizes or solidifies NXT as being a legitimate third brand as opposed to, however it is now. And I feel like once he does end up coming to the main roster, he will actually get a push. But right now, I mean, what is there to gain? I feel like at some point, everybody that gets called up ends up getting lost in the shuffle. So he has an opportunity to be a big guy right now. I feel like that's better for him and better for everyone than him just getting called up, having a world title feud for a month or two, and then next thing you know, he's mid-card, fucking hour 2 fodder.
And a match you'll forget about as soon as the ref hits the count for 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know what? Weebs has a great storyline. Adam Cole is Michael Cole's son.
I love it.
I love it. It's great. It's perfect. It
How
works.
to kill a career in 5 seconds by Weebs.
Yeah. Yeah. Ask Jason Jordan how that went. But I don't know. Anything more on Raw, or is that it? Because we are way over 3 hours at this point. And there's only one thing that I actually want to bring up news-wise. And it's one little video I have. It's a 30-second video. I'm not sure where it takes place, but it is Scott Hall. And it's recent. And it's Scott Hall actually getting arrested at an airport. And he sounds pretty fucked up in this video. Let me go ahead and give you guys some volume. And we'll go ahead and play this.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. No, sir. Let me go. Let me go. No, come on. You ain't got it.
Alright, so that was it. If you watch the video, he's stumbling. You can audibly hear he's slurring more than Scott Hall usually slurs sober. I do know he has a little slurry voice. I hope Scott Hall's not drinking again. I mean, at an airport, no one around. Not a bad place to do it, you know what I mean, guys? But it seems like he may be, and I hope he's not. But definitely not a good thing to be getting arrested. Those were cops he was talking to, obviously, and they did arrest him. So I don't know what happened with this. And again, I'm not 100% sure when this video was from. It seems like it's new, but I don't know. Do you guys know anything more about this video?
No, I had heard about it, but I didn't actually seek out because I look at it like this. I heard about the story, but I didn't seek out the video just because I didn't want to see the guy in that frame of mind. Because the thing about a guy like Scott Hall, for all of the strides that he's made over the past few years, thanks to DDP's intervention, the fact of the matter is, Scott Hall is like he's a day by day guy. He's kind of like similar to Justin Credible right now. Justin Credible pretty much is on the straight and narrow, but because his problems run so deep, that he just has those days where he kind of goes off the rails. And I feel like, I don't know, man. Scott Hall strikes me as like one of those like depressive guys. Like he has to be doing something. That's why I wish WWE would bring him on for something full time, like a coach type of position or a producer or something that keeps him busy. Because I feel like he's one of those guys that if he has too much free time on his hands, things like this happen. You know what I mean? I feel like he needs to be kept busy. He needs to have his mind elsewhere. But he's not alone with his own thoughts.
But with him being on the road again, just make him feel like he's got to get fucked up and be out all night drinking and doing this and doing that. There's so many variables. And you know what?
On the road, he's not taking bumps no more.
Doesn't matter. Just the fact that he's on the road, the fact that he's traveling with the guys, the fact that he's with the boys. Dude, you got to remember, he's an addict. Drugs.
You think that there's that part of his brain that feels like he has to kind of live up to his reputation and his legend of who he is?
That's what an addict does, dude. They have a fucking switch in their brain that just says fucking get high, get drunk, do this, do that. And yeah, I do. I don't think a job with WWE is the best thing he needs. Again, I hope he's not drinking again or doing drugs again. The video isn't very good. Like I said, he's obviously slurring and everything. I'll get you that in a minute there, Smart. I'll post it in the, whatchamacallit? What do you call this thing?
The chat?
Chat, yes. I'll post it in there. Cause it's actually, I downloaded it, but, I will grab it. But he's slurring. He's stumbling around. It's very disturbing, the video. I hope maybe he was just, maybe he took his medication and didn't eat or something, but he just seems fucked up in this, and I hope he's not. But when you're in that addict phase, when you just have that personality, dude, it can click any time.
Yeah, and I get all that. Now, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to try to diagnose the guy here, but do you think that maybe therapy could help? Because for as much as DDP's helped him in terms of getting his like health right, getting him in shape, getting all that weight off of him, do you think that he's ever addressed the root cause? You think because he's always talked about, he's self-medicated. He never did therapy to work through the incident back in the 80s where he killed a guy. Self-defense, but still taking somebody's life still is going to fuck with your head. Even if you did it, you had just cause to do so. Mm-hmm. It's still going to fuck with your head taking somebody's life. Do you think that a thorough therapy session on an ongoing basis would be helpful? Because DDP, for as good as he's been with the getting you in shape, he's not a therapist. He's not a licensed therapist or a psychologist. Talking to your buddies versus talking to a professional are two different things.
Yeah, I mean, he said before he that's one of the things that got him sober is the fact that DDP did get him in therapy, and he did talk about the root of the problem, why he did this and why he did that and why he's drinking. But there's always that switch, dude, and you never know when it's going to fucking go off, you know what I mean? So it's always there. An alcoholic, that's why they always call themselves recovering. Because it could always happen. An addict always calls himself recovering because it could always happen again. And in most cases, I mean, look at Jake. Jake even slipped once. I mean, we saw that video of Jake all fucked up, and he admitted, I slipped. It happened. He hasn't done it since, thank God, but it could easily happen again, man, you know?
Yeah, maybe, hopefully somebody like Jake could reach out to him and kind of like talk him off the deep end a little bit, because you figure him and Jake got that in common. They were perpetual fuck ups for the longest time. They would have these periods where they would be clean and sober, and they fuck up, clean and sober, fuck up, clean and sober, fuck up. Or put it to you like this: they wouldn't necessarily be clean and sober, but their fuck ups would be like small, minimal. But when you're in an airport, first off, I don't care who you are, Scott Hall or anybody. Little bit of life advice: don't fuck around in an airport. Mm-hmm. You don't, especially post 9/11. Do not fuck around in the airport. It won't end well for you, son. No, it won't end well for you.
Yeah, it will not. All right, Smark, I just sent you that in Messenger real quick so you can see what Scott Hall is looking like there. I think it came through. I don't know. You'll find out when it comes through. But yeah, especially in a fucking airport. That's the last place you want to be fucking around. The last place you want to be fucking around. But again, I hope Scott Hall isn't maybe he, like I said, maybe he took his medication when he was not supposed to. Maybe he was supposed to eat first or something. But didn't look good. The fact that he got arrested, not good. And I don't know. Obviously, I mean, we know DDP will reach out, but hopefully more people will reach out to him if anything is going on.
Yeah, and I guess if it's one bright side to this is we don't hear about Scott Hall in the news too much, so that means this might have just been a bump in the road. Granted, he's had a couple of bumps in the road recently, but they've been spaced apart enough that I got confidence that he'll be okay if his buddies reach out to him.
Yeah, hopefully. And again, I'm not 100% sure when this video is from, but it's just started making its rounds again. So it could be old, could be new, who knows? I sent it to Smart. But all right. On that note, we should definitely wrap up. We're probably around 3.5 hours right now, and we'll get to the rest of the news, the Ken Shamrock, Joey Ryan thing, all that kind of stuff. We'll get to all that.
Yes. Also, stay tuned for a fun little rant on Popeye's chicken sandwiches. We'll say that for Friday.
We'll save all that for Friday.
That's a lot to unpack with that fucking situation.
Absolutely. We will get to all that Friday. So come on back and see us Friday, guys. We will 100% be here. And of course, once again, shout out to Wrestling OD. Thanks for Shaheen to coming on tonight. Really appreciate that. And of course, he definitely, if you guys are going to be around Starcast this weekend, go check out his table, buy some art. And if you do want to buy some art, go to nuclearheatshop.com. And I will be on Wrestling's High Marks Sunday. So if you guys are on YouTube, go ahead and check that out. Otherwise, you'll be able to get it on YouTube after we do it. So I will be there. And of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, Inhuman Experience. Check them out on all the major podcast platforms. And if you check that out, you'll get Bobby Anthem doing his own little thing, searching for his lost soul. And check out Eric, Doug, and Doug's brother Daniel on Unscripted Wrestling. Find that on the Philly Sports Passion feed. Check out Stephen Milan, always sharing the show. Muchly appreciated. Check him out on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan, the madman of movie reviews. And I guess since me and Anthony do not have a movie show this week, we might be doing a Saturday review of AEW to get that out of the way. What do you think, Anthony Smark?
Yeah. Sounds like a good idea to me.
I'm down. As long as AEW can keep it under, 8 hours. As long as they can keep it under a work shift, I think that's doable.
Yeah, because I can only wait so long on a Saturday before I start drinking. So we will definitely. I got a feeling we're going to do that. Hopefully they can keep it 3.5 hours, and we can go ahead and do that for you guys. So definitely check us out Friday.
And also, before I forget, check out the Bottom Line Wrestling Podcast, my boy Jason Clark. Available on all of the usual outlets, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. Anywhere you can find me in box, you can find him. Good podcast, good dude. Goes very thorough on the NWA. Anything modern wrestling-wise, that's your guy. Check it out.
There you go. And you guys want to look for us, you guys want to email us on dirtsheetdudes@gmail.com. Leave us a review on iTunes. Follow us on Spreaker. Find us on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, TuneIn, Player FM, everywhere else. On that note,
we haven't done it in a while. Make sure you drop some questions because the mailbox is still open. We haven't done it in a while, but obviously, if you have any questions, drop them on the Facebook page, email them, and we'll get to them on the show.
There you go. They don't have to be, wrestling related. We'll answer anything. So there you go. On that note, Anthony.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Always.
Smart. We'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir.
And we will do our damnedest to make sure the show is not almost 4 fucking hours on Friday. Anyway, I will see you guys. Appreciate it. It is always good. Appreciate everybody who downloads the show, everybody who joined the show live, and we will see you guys Friday. Later.
Peace.
See you. It's alright. If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass